But yeah, Mikey Romero, big nipples guy.
Is he? What's up? Welcome back to the Section 10 Podcast, episode 602, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your soon-to-be 2026 World Series champion, Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carabas, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. Bada boom. Realest guys in the room. T, how you doing?
What up, Section 10 in the building?
In the mother fucking building. Brewed by, it sounded like someone was fucking squeezing the life out of him. Brewed by Blue Moon.
I'll be honest, I didn't
Brewed
think it
by
through.
Blue Moon.
Shock one.
Produced by Jake Yazzie.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, Jake. Section10merch.com. Ladies merch dropped. We're cooking up a new drop. And also, I know people don't want to believe me, but the Baseball is Dead merch, it is coming, and it's going to be a big old drop. A big one. A big opening day drop.
A big one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we're cooking up something nasty for them. Yeah, because everyone's like, they're like, man, all you're doing is Section 10 merch. Why aren't you doing anything? It's all your fault. Listen, these things take time. You know, perfection takes time. You know, let us cook. Let us cook. It's coming. Opening day. What were you going to say, T? Are you all right? It sounded like you weren't all right there.
No, I've been battling. I feel like, you know, when people
Battling
talk about
what
playing
exactly?
shortstop and moving to second base and how everything's backwards, one of my monitors has completely fried. I've been shoveling snow like everyone else the last couple of days, but I've also been in a hotel, so I haven't been home. I've been living through these Red Sox spring training games, so I'm just in a weird headspace overall.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I am a guy that subscribes to Tyler's push notifications on Twitter, and I see you out there grinding. And you know, the tweets might piss me off, but like I see you out there grinding, and you know, because I've 2026 is the year where I'm gonna let T be T. You know, T is gonna T no matter what. And I mean, I think it's a great thing that you care so much about spring training. And I care about the storylines. I care about who's healthy. I care about things like that. But I mean, you're living and dying pitch by pitch out there. And we need someone who does that. I'm not saying like, I just don't, the games don't matter. So I don't care if they win or lose. And I know like right now people are freaking out. We'll talk about this. People are freaking out about Roman Anthony getting off to a slow start in spring training. And someone had asked me, is this concerning to you at all? And I said, nothing concerns me less than spring training performance. Absolutely nothing. Like I have seen Pedro Martinez finish spring trainings with like 10 ERAs and then go win the Cy Young Award. I've seen, and I'm not going to use anyone as an example for this. I've seen players have really great spring trainings and then not even really have big league careers. So it doesn't matter to me. I just care if guys are healthy or not. But man, if I don't respect the grind of Tyler Milliken informing the people, because I don't know, I feel like there's probably a lot of people like me that don't necessarily like, I'll watch like the first couple games because I'm like, it's been a long winter. There's been a lot of snow. It's been really cold. It's been shitty. And I missed baseball. I missed the Red Sox. So like I'll watch the first couple, but then after that, it's just like, you know, just tell me what happened. Tell me who's doing well. Tell me the prospects to look out for. And that's where T comes in.
I will say, even compared to a couple years ago, the amount of people that are watching spring training and like tweeting about it is way different. And maybe that's because the number of games has kind of climbed year by year and there's just a bigger hunger for it or whatever it may be. Maybe it's because the Red Sox are back, you know, in a place where they made the playoffs last year and people expect them to do the same this year. But there's a lot of people like live tweeting the games, going through the Savant pages. And my favorite thing is now when I do these recaps, because I've been doing them for 4 or 5 years, everyone underneath is like, thank you for doing this. I appreciate what you're doing. And that's all I want it to be. I just want it to be a service for people because not everyone has the time to go and watch a 3.5 hour spring training game, which we've already had 2 in 1 week. And poor Will Fleming is fighting for his life. You can hear it in his voice. He's pained by some of these games. 16-7. It's just, there is a point in a spring training game where you're like, it's enough.
Yeah, I haven't seen this a lot this year. Did they get rid of this? Or is it too early for the managers to start hitting this move?
No. Bayo came out in the first inning and then came back out in the second and had like one of those moments where he left the game and then restarted with the fresh inning. I think a little bit of it has been the ABS stuff. And I think a little bit of it is there's just been some high scoring games and like that's the punishment of it. If a team's going to score 16 runs, you're sitting there for 3.5 hours.
Also, just people are like, where's Steve? Steve's been suspended for just being an asshole.
DoorDash acted. He put in an order during the storm and they weren't having it. They were disgusted that he put someone's life on the line. So he's been sentenced to death.
You know, speaking of suspensions, there's a couple of tough ones that we got to hand out here. And I get it. It's spring training for everyone. But at some point you have to recognize like you're a professional. Like you're the top of the top. Like you are what everyone strives to be once they get into this field. And for our guys, I mean, there's a difference between a Clark's Ketchup Series MVP voter and, you know, everyone else. It's just you're cut from a different cloth, so to speak. It's the elite of the elite. And to have behavior like this immediately during spring training, it's deplorable. Here's Lou Merlone. Our very own Lou Merlone.
I don't know, funky delivery. They love.
I mean, it cuts like a knife, man. It cuts like a knife, and then on top of that, it's like, well, you know, at least Will Fleming is someone that can keep it under control, and maybe he's someone that, you know, he'll give Lou the eye and be like, I can't believe that you said that. He probably heard it from the booth over. But then here's Will Fleming.
Lou Yellen has a funky, I shouldn't say that out loud, but
no, you shouldn't.
Elaborate delivery.
No, you shouldn't, Will.
Is that worse that he knew in the moment, like he made a mistake?
I think he said it and immediately, yeah, like I think he knew it the second that it left his lips. So this is a collective suspension for the two of them. And they know what they did. They knew it was coming. I think Lou even released a statement, maybe. Did Lou tweet about this?
Oh, yeah.
Lou said...
He knows.
Of course he knows. He said, spring training for everyone. Just not locked in yet. I fully accept my suspension. So he knew it was coming. I don't know about Will. Will gave us the apology. Not apology, but acknowledgement for wrongdoing like immediately on the air. But I don't know if that's enough, so...
I mean, Will was like high stepping in the scoop shop. He was, and then he used it again.
He did use it again.
Casually. Like this is.
Yeah.
Well, once you do it once, it becomes a lot easier to do in general.
Right. And that, yeah. I think he might have a problem when it comes to that. So I think maybe we have an intervention with Will at some point if this is something that's going to continue, especially if it's happening now during spring training. And I mean, the regular season hasn't even started yet. So,
and like Lou dropped that like the first pitch of the year too. It was like,
yeah,
what kind of tone are we trying to set for? We got a lot of tough sledding ahead of us. Like it was crazy, just jumped right out of him. And then he's like, Manny Ramirez, the DA is our first baseman. It's like, Lou, just settle it down, pal.
Oh, let me tell you, the Wilson Contreras hype.
Oh, it's very real.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that in a second. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's Jared to get to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. For anyone that missed the bonus pod, first of all, shame on you if you're missing the bonus pod. Like, those are
great.
Get
out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. That's for anyone that missed the bonus pod or just doesn't like listen to the bonus pod because it's like, oh, that's not the real show. It's the real show. Get them out. And this past bonus pod, I mean, Mikey's been fucking crushing it on the bonus pods, and he's gotten a lot of praise recently. A lot of people I've seen in the YouTube comments have been loving Mikey Eamon on the bonus pods.
The Reddit.
I wouldn't know, but Mikey tells me that there's love for him on the Reddit page, but the YouTube, I see it. And on the last bonus pod, Mikey was explaining the story of his t-shirt idea for WC40. You see, because it's a play on WD40. But Wilson Contreras is WC, and he wears the number 40, so it's actually WC40. And he has this t-shirt idea, and I think it's great. And then next thing you know, Wilson Contreras hits his first home run of spring training, and the MLB Twitter account tweets out WC40. So Mikey, I see your pinky up, Tyler, but Mikey, can you just explain to me just what you're feeling right now with the momentum that WC40 is gaining?
What do they say? Squeaky wheel gets the oil. Well, this wheel is going to get the WC40.
That's right.
Bar.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. T, you had a comment?
For people who may be listening that don't know what WD-40 is, would you like to explain that to them?
So that's you?
I said people listening.
Okay. Are you one of them?
Cowards who listen to this program. It's only hardworking people. Everyone knows what WD-40 is.
Not familiar.
Jeez, dude. It's in like a blue can. You shake it up and then you open it. It's got like that like skinny like red straw that comes out. Yeah, and then like you spray it like if you want to like lube something up. Like I use it all the time on like my workout equipment. If it gets like too tight, you want to make it slick, you just spray the pole and it slides up and down on it. Like if you have a squeaky door hinge and it's like you take the WD-40 and it's like
so like helps with rust, like kind of thing.
Squeaking. It's a de-squeakifier. It's a lubricant.
So it says on the can.
Yeah.
I will say when Contreras hit that home run, you do not see many right-handed hitters go that way and be able to do it frequently. And you go back to his homer a couple years ago at Fenway Park, the only one of his career, it was very similar to that. And I believe over the last 4 seasons, he has the farthest homer from a right-handed hitter going opposite at Fenway Park.
Wow.
But I don't know. I'm very excited about Wilson Contreras right now. Overall, the whole package.
The whole
spraying
package.
it.
Dude, he's hitting the baseball, and he's an exit velo guy. But everything he hits is hard. His ABS challenges, he's 2 for 3. So has a good eye on that stuff, Coley.
Would you say, Coley?
That's right, Mikey.
That's right, Mikey.
Thank you, Coley.
Would you say that when he's running the bases, he just glides around him like that? Just smooth?
Grease him up.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that, T?
Yeah, I would. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
At first base is very smooth. It's not awkward or weird. He feels
that
position
pivot
well.
he had throwing to second.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even need the squeak.
Caleb Durbin, that double play, good stretch from him. Yeah. And I think even the leadership aspect, to hear Trevor Story kind of single him out specifically, that he's reshaping the culture a little bit in his own way. It feels like he's bringing guys like Willie Abreu, Ranger Suarez, and kind of building this little, unit, this little different portion of the clubhouse. And I think that's needed right now with Alex Bregman gone. You needed someone to step into that role. And we know Contreras is, supposed to be here for this year and next year. Be nice to have some of that going on because you're lacking it.
Yeah, leader of the Latin players, Alex Bregman.
He speaks Spanish.
Gone. He does. Yeah, he does. Yeah. I'm not going to we'll get into it later, the Instagram posts. I've got some thoughts about that.
Cooked us.
Great tease, Jerry.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. Something we're not
Tune
ducking.
in.
Tune in to the 10. Yeah, I would say the big story this week is probably the Marcelo Mayer talk, which it's garnered a lot of attention, but I feel like it's because nothing else is happening. I don't think 100%. It's a huge, it's one of those things where people are talking about it because there's not much else to talk about. There's not a ton of drama. There's not a ton of, I guess, like competing for spots, so to speak. There's not like the hot prospect to like look for, like that was kind of last year. And I guess guys are now settling into their roles. And so this story, obviously it's Alex Cora I think he's just trying to light a fire into Mayer. Like
you want
last
the quotes?
spring. Yeah, okay. Yeah, give me the quotes.
From Cora, with Marcelo, we'll give him the baton, but he has to run. If he wants to be the starting second baseman in Cincinnati, there's a lot of work to do. It's not a given that he's the second baseman or third baseman for this team. There's a lot of things that he needs to show us this spring, and we expect him to do that because he's that talented. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys here that can do the job. He wasn't great offensively last year. He'll be the first one to tell you that. Defensively, he was excellent. Base running, he was really good. But offensively, there's more. We know that, but he has to show us that he can handle this. And then I think people took Meyer's comments, and at least this was under my Twitter page, and this is kind of what's been buzzing on the sports radio front. They thought Meyer's comments came off angry. I didn't take them that way. I think if you read them in your head, like, oh, I would be angry if my manager said this, or maybe if you felt like the job had been promised to him in some capacity, but I don't. I think if you look at even Craig Breslow's comments over the offseason, that was never the case. When he was asked about it back at the GM meetings, he goes, I don't want to get into anything with his role. He needs to focus on adding weight, and we'll see where we're at when spring training rolls around. I think that's where we are. And I think a lot of people missed, why he wasn't playing in the games, which Ian Brown had ended up putting out there that coming off the wrist, they want him to get more action in live BPs and the traject machine and all those things. And now he's slated to play for the first time on Friday. So we're going to be seeing him very soon.
Yeah, I think the tone is obviously important there with both parties' comments, but I think it just boils down to like Mayer is a laid back Cali bro, and I'm sure as a first rounder and you've made some money through the draft and you're on all these top prospect rankings and things of that nature, and everyone sees him with Roman Anthony, so it's like I'm the guy with the guy. I don't know, maybe it's something where if you were to ask me, did Marcelo Mayer roll into spring training expecting the job? No, I think he understood, like, I'm going to have to prove myself, but I probably am first in line. Like, I'm probably the guy that they want to win the job.
He was at second base working out. That was the reason.
I think he understands I have to prove myself still. Like, I'm not being handed this job, but I am probably the first guy in line. I'm the guy that they want to win this job. So it's, I don't know. He doesn't seem to me like the kind of guy that would show up to spring training expecting to be, especially after how it went last spring. Like, the guy balled out during spring training and didn't make the team. Like, I'm never going to tell a manager not to kick a young player in the ass if they feel like they need it, but I'm trying to put myself in Marcelo's shoes. And if I were him, I wouldn't expect the job just solely based on how last spring went. And I know I didn't fulfill my full potential last year. I know that I haven't played at least 100 games in the big leagues. I know I have a lot to prove in terms of staying healthy. I don't need to be told that. I know that, but I don't know. Like, again, like, I don't know him well at all. So it's like, does he need to be reminded of that? Who knows? I guess we'll see.
I think the people who are just brushing it off is like, our core is just lighting a fire under him. That's every time they talk about him. It's the exact same. They're always, if that's the company line, they're constantly in a state of relighting a fire, which is not a good thing. There's never any, like, he came in looking huge. Like you said, there's no young prospect to be gassed about. That's why. Because they're all lighting a fire under him, and he's not promised the job. And one other important quote, T, was when they did play with all the starters, they asked Cora, is this the opening day lineup? And he said, yeah, it probably won't be much different than this. And that was not with Mayer at second. That was with IKF at second base.
Yeah, I didn't read into that. Like, if he was like, this is what we're going to be doing, I think a majority of the lineup was it. There would be one more change in that entire equation. And I was just reading through like Christopher Smith and the way some of those people had framed the tweet. Some people framed it as, 1 through 7 or, excluding the Marcelo Mayer situation, like when the question itself was framed. But I do think Mayer went and did what they wanted him to do this offseason. Cora has said it, that he was happy with the work he put in, and so did Breslow. He gained 10 pounds. They wanted him to get heavier. But I do think there's been chatter, and this is a realistic thing here, and it's something you can make a great point. Coley, I think we talked about this last episode, about the Ketel Marte stuff. Like, if you have questions on this player, why not be more aggressive on that front? Or did you just sitting like you did on the whole Alex Bregman situation, did you screw yourself because once Ketel Marte was off the market, you couldn't pivot back to that, if you were willing to be more desperate at that point in time? But I think with Mayer, there's been questions throughout his minor league career. Is he willing to come back from injuries as fast as he should? Is he willing to play through things? Is he on the softer side in that aspect? And I think that's kind of something that's carried along with his prospect status, at least in the organization. And there's been even, murmurs and things we've heard over the last couple of spring trainings about some of the questions they have about, the work ethic. And I don't think it's that he's lazy, but like you said, Jared, it's that California cool. It's that smoothness. And I think people realize with the tools he has, you see someone like Roman Anthony who maximizes every inch. He comes in, he's shredded, he's built to the max, and, he's a different breed. I think sometimes they look at Marcelo Mayer and say, you have every tool, you have everything you could need. If you can turn it up just a little bit more, we feel like there's something really special there. We feel like you could unlock that next level. And I think they're waiting for that and they're hoping for that. And I think part of the reason you heard Cora speak so highly about Marcelo at the end of last spring training was because he did that. He showed up and he balled out for 3 weeks. And Cora at the end of that was saying he had matured, how toolsy he was, all this different stuff. I think they just want to see him show up to camp. And you go back a year ago, it was March 24th that Christian Campbell got named to the opening day roster. They said all spring, hey, it's a competition. We're going to see what happens. Christian Campbell did not have a good spring training last year.
No,
it was a rough run. But we knew he was the most likely fit. And I think, part of that was some contract extension stuff in there too.
I think it was all contract. I think he was the guy that was willing to sign, so he got the job.
But even before that, like before camp, they had fallen in love with him being this right-handed bat that they wanted in that lineup. They thought it would have fit their team perfectly. I think when you talk about Marcelo, the lefty side of it, what he does defensively, he is the best fit on this team currently, as long as he can show the growth they're looking for. And when you're talking platoon partners, you're hyping up Andrew Monasterio. Those two should go together just like Romy and Marcelo should have. So I do think they're trying to light a fire underneath them. I'd say I'm like 85%, I would guess that Marcelo is going to be there at second base on opening day. But do I think if he shows up to camp and he blows and it looks rough and he's kind of the opposite of what it was a spring training ago? Yeah, maybe he could lose that. But I think he is the front runner. I don't think it should be framed any other way.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what I said. They want him to win the job. They're not going to hand him the job. And
go fight for it.
I think their actions kind of handed him the job throughout the offseason, though. Like, they just got IKF and Monasterio and Durbin. Like, they did that as late as they possibly could have. All offseason, there was nothing signaling to him that he had, if anything, he had 2 positions he was going out for. And I do think it is still weird. Really early in the offseason, they were, if you're believing their words, they were like, Story's our shortstop. They made that clear pretty early, which I still think was weird.
Well, I think that speaks to how they viewed Marcelo the entire time. If their wording had changed and they're like, Marcelo's on this team, you could make the whole argument, he needs to be at shortstop. I think this entire time, they didn't know how he was going to go about the offseason. They wanted him to go and fight for it. They want to see him push that next level.
Their actions don't reflect that. Their actions were very much, if we get a second or a third baseman, we know we've got Mayer to play the other one. That's what their actions were.
Yeah, because he's their long-term piece. That's why they weren't willing to move him in a deal.
I know, but that's telling a guy mentally, like, that's again, and we don't know what their communication was behind the scenes, but their actions didn't really align with that until they got 4 fucking infielders the day of camp started.
But I think that's the point where they want him there. That's what they're hoping for it to happen. But they weren't going to just hand it to him. Go out there and go earn it. And I think that's why, like, if you're looking at it and saying, well, IKF looks like he's leading it for the second base job, or Andrew Monasterio, who the Globe today, G-Bob put out a roster projection, putting him and saying Marcelo wasn't going to make the team. I'm not in that camp. I can't jump that far yet. And I think once he starts playing games, the conversation, the tune will change a lot.
So my question is, hearing all that and knowing all that and the discussions that we've had all offseason regarding Mayer and trades and things of that nature, if he wasn't a lock in your mind to make the opening day roster, why were you so protective of him in trade conversations? Like, if you weren't 100% dead set, this is our opening day third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, why were you like, oh, a top 10 MVP caliber player and you want him in this deal? Nah, we're not doing that. I just don't understand why foot down, we're not trading this guy, but we also don't really know if he's going to make the opening day roster either.
Because they didn't have any other guys at the AAA level that could replace like young piece, whether or not it's supposed to be a star like Mayer or just a guy who can come up and play. Like
but you were getting a second baseman back.
Yeah, over the age of 30. I'm saying they didn't have a young one. Like, and I think
well, I have to worry about that now.
I think there are two other factors outside of all that. One, there is lockout next year, so it's like, all right, now he's going to be 34 by the time we play baseball again. Like, is that what I want to go all in on? And two, we've been under the assumption that it's Mayer who held up the deal. It could have very well been early. They could have been like, hey, we'll give you Mayer and Harris, and we don't want to do that. Now, I assume Mayer was the reason they didn't want to do it, but we know how high they are in Connolly early as well.
Yeah, I'll say Spear had the Mayer portion that he was holding it up, and I heard behind the scenes that was the same as well.
I. But again, I don't really believe these people. So like, what if they really were just like, hey, and I said it before the offseason started, like they're not going to trade Roman's best friend. And they continue. They put out a video. They were like, Roman, what could you speak about for 10 minutes? He was like, Cello. I could give a 10-minute presentation on Marcelo Mayer right now. Like they don't want to get rid of that guy right now.
I do wonder if them like not living together, like I wonder if that's something where they're trying to get him to like, hey, Roman's an adult. We see the way he kind of carries himself. We need you to do a little growing up. And I think that's how they kind of look at Marcelo as a whole. And it's hard for them because I think they see this entire package of tools and you dream on it. To me, the whole thing is Craig Breslow's never had a reason to have to cling to Marcelo Mayer. He's a Chaim Bloom draft pick. Like that Correct. Is under his tenure. So like if Craig Breslow didn't like the guy, and we've seen him ship out multiple guys, whether it was
everyone.
Exactly. Like, and have no fear to do that. Anyone who had connections to that previous regime he didn't want, get the fuck out.
His own picks too, though. To be fair, like his own guys he's taken.
Yeah, both. But I think in that situation, we haven't seen him look at a mistake and cling to that mistake. You know, even the Rafael Devers return, right? Like, ship these parts out. I'm not going to cling to this because it's on my resume. If I think it makes the team better, I'm going to make the move. I don't see why that would randomly change when it comes to Marcelo Mayer.
I think it's like lack of faith in at the time. I'm not saying right now because there's been a lot of pro Mikey Romero stuff coming out, but I don't think they viewed him as a guy at the beginning of the offseason, like they may right this second. And Arias is what? Is he still 19?
20? No, 20, yeah.
Yeah, so like he's come in and they're like, he's put on weight. We didn't expect that. We didn't expect the bat to look how it looks right now. I don't know that they looked at their organization. Again, they just acquired 4 guys who all play second or third at the beginning of camp.
I do think there's something to the idea. They knew Romy was cooked. And I think the way Romy's talking, he knows he's cooked. So I was one of these people the last couple episodes saying, why the hell would you sign IKF if you had this Monasterio deal coming? Because Monasterio can do everything IKF can do, but for cheaper. And you can argue $6 million. And you can argue Monasterio's a better player at this point in time.
He is. You don't have to argue it.
Sure. But I think now we see, oh no, Monasterio stepping into Romy's shoes. Romy's, the way he's talking, where he's like, hey, they could open up my shoulder and it's a way bigger tier. Essentially what happened to Anthony Santander a couple weeks ago. And then that could be it. Like, he's still 2 weeks out right now, Romy, from even getting it looked at again and then deciding what's going to happen next. So like, I'm not expecting Romy back anytime soon.
Yeah. Like I've erased Romy. Like, he's not in my 2026 plans.
That's a big loss. Like, that is a significant loss.
It changes the entire dynamic of what you can do with the entire infield. It changes the entire dynamic of what the lineup looks like against left-handed pitchers. Like,
exactly.
It's a big, especially because we don't have the captain to face the franchise, Rob Refsnyder. Like, what do you do? Like, you know, against a lefty lineup, it is a problem. It really is a problem. Like, it changes everything in terms of like what the fuck you're going to do against lefties. And by the way, the Yankees got a bunch of lefties, so it's like, all right, yeah, it's an issue. But
to be fair, the whole infield now is right-handed if Mayer's not playing. Like, it's not like last year where we were only left-handed.
Sure, but like Romy murders left-handed pitching.
1,000%.
Like,
so did Refsnyder.
I don't know that, like,
I get that.
Well,
and there's some guys that have like reverse splits. Like, isn't Caleb Durbin a reverse splits guy?
His splits were very even. Yes, but you're right about that, Coley.
Lefties. What?
IKF had reverse splits.
Yeah. And yeah, Durbin's were even. And then Contreras, what did his look like against lefties?
good. They were good. I think it's Duran and Abreu. Like, those are the two names you're going to float to, because Roman's hit lefties better than righties for a good portion of his minor league track record. But you have Duran, who is sensitive over the subject, and I think they're going to protect him against certain lefties, which makes the way they value him even more maddening. But you have him, and you have Wilyer Abreu, who is like, good against lefties on the backfields, but let's see it in games, right? Before anyone draws any conclusions. But those are two guys that are main parts of your lineup, probably your 3 and 5 hitter. And if they can't hit lefties, that's going to be probably, that's a scary thing if you're going up against Max Fried or whatever in a big game. That's where you're going to have to hope someone like Andrew Monasterio can step in and give you a little something in that department. And so far, he's been one of the standouts of camp. And the fact that Core is hyping him up like he is, I think it's pretty telling of what they think he can be.
Coley, how much spring training are you watching?
I've had on every game. I've really, I'm not watching every pitch being like, Ron Hare's velocity's down a tick. I'm not grinding it like that. I just genuinely enjoy
baseball
the ambience. Yeah, I just having it on in the house. It makes it feel warmer with the 12 feet of snow outside. I just enjoy here in the park here. Because what is it? MLB TV, when they in between games, it'll just play random sounds when they don't want to air a commercial. That's how I've been treating it. And then when Rafaela homers, I look up. I'm like, that's sick. When Roman's up, when Connor Griffin's up, I'm like, I'm all in on.
Yeah. I'm only asking because I was going to ask what your impressions are of Caleb Durbin.
Yeah, real short. Yeah, super short. That's really it so far. I mean,
with them, I can't.
That's where it's like I'm.
That's going to be my fucking legacy game. Is just a picture with Caleb Durbin.
Him and Pete, arms around both.
I mean, I don't know what Pete's listed at, but what did they say Durbin was listed at? 5'6"?
5'6" and a half.
And a half. I've noticed that all the bat to ball skill stuff, dude doesn't punch out, dude puts the bat to the ball, quality at bats. I mean, it's tough to read into in spring training because it's like you don't know what the fucking. There could be
pitchers are throwing fastballs for the first week and a half.
Yeah, Suarez said it. When he was out there, he was working on his sweeper. He was like, I sucked with my sweeper against righty, so I was just pounding it over and over, and then he ends up getting taken deep off one of them. And it's like, whatever. It was a horrendous pitch. It could not have been worse. But he's working on it. He's practicing it, and that's why it's hard to judge some of this stuff. There was a play with Durbin, the first game, the ball bounced off a third. I don't know if you guys saw this. And he fully jumped up, fully to get up and catch the ball. Couldn't get the guy at first, but it was an athletic play. But I did sit there. I was like, damn, if he was even Alex Bregman height or a little taller, is that just an easy snag at his face and he goes right to the base? I feel like there's going to be a couple of those choppers this year where you're like, fuck, man, if you were 2 inches taller, that ball doesn't hop down the left field line.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to end up being my 3rd or 4th favorite player on the team.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people will end up liking him. He's the dirt dog. That's going to be his vibe.
He's tailor-made for the Boston market. People love just Isaiah Thomas. I don't think he's ever paid for a drink in Boston just because he's short. He's good too, obviously, but we go Trot Nixon. It's man, that guy's hat is so fucking dirty. He's sick. It really is that simple.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would you rather him at second tee if you're worried about choppers?
No, I think at the end of the day, his defensive metrics speak for themselves. And I think the fact they want to keep him there to be comfortable is telling.
Does range factor in balls bounding over your head? Genuinely?
It's fair, right?
I don't think it does.
5 DRS, 2 outs above average. Yeah, I wonder how that would factor into metrics. I think the only thing you can see at times, it's not the greatest arm in the world. He has to put a lot into it to get the ball across. But at third base, he turned that nice double play with Contreras. And I was like, oh, all right. That's what you're looking for when you watch Alex Bregman a year ago. Those same plays were the ones that we were like, oh, all right, Devers doesn't make that. That's the difference. That's what picks up these pitchers. And I think he's going to be able to fill that role. It'll be offensively where more of the questions come, but it's not his job to be Alex Bregman. It's Wilson Contreras' job. And
correct.
I think so far he's been that guy. And on and off the field, hopefully he can kind of carry that torch. And I do think we're going to see a special season from him at Fenway. I really do. I think we're getting 30 home runs. I think he's going to come here and kind of quickly show that like he's made for this ballpark. And it's not going to be just the pull air percentage to the left. I think it's going to be the whole thing. I think there's going to be, balls falling in the bullpen. He's going to spray it all over. That guy, he does not look his age. He does not look 34.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does. I think you just think 34 looks ancient.
Maybe that
you think 34-year-olds should look like Joe Castiglione.
I just don't expect like a 34-year-old to have like his bat speed and like his exit velos. Like I feel like you usually see guys trending in that other direction.
I can't wait for you to. Maybe you're not a great example of this, but like anyone that 34. Is like athletic right now in their 20s that thinks 34 is old. I can't wait for you to get to 34 and like still feel just as good.
Yeah. That really is just it. Because even when he stretches at first base, I'm like, wow, like he's moving. Like that was athletic.
I wish you watched other sports, T. There are 34-year-olds doing all sorts of shit.
That is fair. That is a good point.
Like Morgan Moses played right tackle all year for the Patriots. He's way older than 34.
That's a very good point. I can't argue that one. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just very excited for the Wilson Contreras experience. I was during the offseason.
Retirement tour.
Yeah. But to see it up close, like, it makes a lot of sense for this lineup.
Geriatric Wilson, here he comes, rolling up to the plate.
I mean, it's nice to, again, have a right-handed bat in the middle of the order, whether or not he should be like a 3 or 4 hitter. Like what? We would be really high on this team if he was like your 5 hitter. God forbid if he was your 6 hitter. Now, the fact that it's like, all right, it's not Narvaez, like a very injured Narvaez hitting 4th, so it is an upgrade on that for sure. I can't get to 30 yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if he was like a 25, 35 guy. I did hear Cardinals fans say he's going to get gunned out at second a lot, trying to stretch singles into doubles. So
I love that though.
Sure, I'll be selective about when I love it.
It's also, as much as we talk about this, him staying healthy, like that is going to be an important thing here. And this is part of the Romy situation. Like Romy was an easy guy if you wanted to give someone a day off, especially with how he started to handle righties last year. Oh, go play for a day. Let's keep Wilson fresh. You don't really have that opportunity, and getting him days at DH won't be easy either with the outfield logjam.
What about your guy, Tristan?
I thought Catillo's piece today with him was a lot of fun to read about him just kind of opening up about the contract extension and a lot of that stuff. And it's the same message we always hear from Tristan. Like, I'm going to be me. You're free to feel whatever way you want. I know if I put up the results, it doesn't matter. People are going to love me. We'll connect. We'll have this entire thing. But he seems as confident as ever. He was talking about on opening day, he thinks he'll be ready to play in games, which feels crazy. We haven't heard any kind of speak like that. And, he said he even thinks there's a chance he could make the MLB team. There's no pathway right now. But the best thing is to go to AAA.
The team will tell players never put a timeline on your return, because then if you don't hit it, then everyone's going to be like, oh, there was a setback or there's something wrong. And like, it's just the natural path that it was always going to take. There doesn't necessarily need to be a setback if he isn't ready by opening day.
Yeah. And I think
there's no benefit to putting a day on it.
Well, for a guy, too, who, when he had the major rib injury and all that was going on, people were criticizing him for not being back sooner. It was interesting to hear him be like, oh, this is it. I think he seems very excited the last couple of weeks about his progression, how far he's along, because I don't think the team or him thought it was going to go this well. Hopefully there's no setbacks or anything like that. I think they should take it slow with him. I saw one of the researchers from ESPN was like talking about moving Casas to first and Contreras to DH. Paul Hembokides, he does Baseball Tonight sometimes. He's a big data guy. And I was like, this is one of the craziest takes I've ever heard in my entire life. If you said his name to Jay Hay, you would definitely know. Hembo, exactly. That's what they call him. I don't know if you're joking, Coley, when you said that. That's legit what they call him on the podcast.
Me and Bobo chop it up about Red Sox lineups.
Jake, book Hembokides. Get him on here. I want to know what he's talking about with this DH first base situation.
I want to know what his name is.
I don't know if he's like the modern version of Jay Hay. Like, I don't know if that's like his exact position.
That's a crazy comp right there.
What are you trying to say about Jay Hay?
Yeah.
He's a researcher / producer.
He's lost? Okay.
No, not at all. I'm saying it as a compliment. Like, that's a serious position.
High praise.
I disagreed very heavily with this take.
He's casket maxing.
Good job, Coley. I do think when you're talking Tristan Casas as a whole, as much as I do want to get excited, like, there's just not an easy pathway for him right now.
Oh man, if you're not excited, then that's tough.
I'm excited about him. I'm more upset about the roster construction that won't let him do his thing. You know?
Was there ever a follow-up update on the whole Yoshida not making the team storyline?
No. Sean McAdam on Fenway Rundown just said it was time to pull the plug.
McAdam's been ready all winter. He's like, get this fucking guy out of here.
But it's the same thing. They're like, hey, our whole outfield is going to the WBC. Maybe someone gets hurt, and then it all makes more sense. They're kicking the can down the road.
Just look at it, yeah.
That's what they do with a lot of things, whether it's Duran, whether it's Yoshida.
It's an awful way to run a baseball team. Like, someone's going to fucking die, you know? Like, we need warm bodies, step right up.
I think they're most afraid of DFAing him and him going to a team and playing well and it biting them quickly.
They can't care about that.
I think that's why else is he here?
The team that traded Rafael Devers is not going to. I mean, obviously, they knew that
they traded him to the other side of as far away as possible.
I don't think it matters where you trade him anymore. Like, it's not like.
But they're not trading Yoshida. They're releasing him. No one's going to claim him. So it could very well be. He's not going to, no team's going to be able to pay minimum.
You got nothing for Devers. You're going to get nothing for Yoshida.
Yeah, Caleb Durbin.
I guess.
I mean, you literally only got him because of Kyle Harrison.
Yeah, but not right away.
Sure. I don't know why it had to be right away.
Well, because you're not going to get anything for Yoshida if you.
Sure, but it's more like they weren't worried about the Giants ever hurting them, which is fair. If he would, I don't know who is ready to sign him, but like if he went to the Yankees, for example, a team who arguably has more DHs than you do, but just any team in division, I think they're worried about, oh, you're going to go there for league minimum and we're still paying you 17, 18 and a half, whatever it is. Like McAdam also floated something I've brought up on here where I think they're kicking it to a point where it's like, all right, we only have to eat $25 million. If we DFA him now, which I think makes no sense the more I think about it, because either way, you're still paying him the whole amount. Like, it's still the same amount, whether or not he's just not on the team at all.
No. I do think, too, like, the kicking the can down the road, like, everyone makes it sound like, all right, well, like, they've done it and it's worked. Like, did it really? Like, you got to June last year, Roman Anthony came up, and Wilyer was coming off the IL, and you were like, how is this all going to work? How are we going to all fit this? And the Devers was traded a week later. So, like, yes, you could keep kicking the can down the road, but eventually you have to have answers for a lot of this stuff. And, you know, obviously the solution here is just setting Massa free or whatever, but it's clear, like, it's an awkward situation. He's uncomfortable.
Trade an outfielder.
Yeah, that would be the simple solution. But as we continue to get closer and closer, and this is the thing on Duran, like, Cora is talking so much about Wilyer facing lefties. We've heard shit on Duran against lefties. Like, there's been no support. Like, hey, we believe this guy can go out there and do it. And on Fenway Rundown, they were alluding to thinking he's going to be protected against tough lefties. If you're holding on to Jarren Duran and you were saying we need like an MVP-like return for a guy you're protecting in certain matchups against lefties, you are valuing the player the wrong way. Like, and that's the problem. Not only are you going to hurt his value when you do that again, like you did last summer, but it just looks stupid for what you're setting, you know, the price for him as. It doesn't make sense.
I think it's more than not talking about it because they've always just had him out there against lefties. So I don't know.
Last year they started to protect him in the middle of the summer.
A little, but they also just ran out of guys and couldn't. So I don't know. I don't know that them not talking about it, because who are they going to play over him is more my question.
I think it was easier when you had like a Romy and then maybe like an Andrew Monasterio would have made more sense on this roster and you could have the IKF conversation. And I do think with like Duran, it is a tougher convo because you go back to 23, he hit lefties well. 24, he was a step down, but it was good enough. Like if you can have an 88 WRC plus against lefties, that's fine. Last year, it just dropped to a point where it was like you're almost unplayable against lefties. Like you can't have like a 60 WRC plus and expect to be out there every day. And I don't know for them, like Cora has come out and said like the last couple of days, like Duran's hitting the ball different this year. He's getting to balls he didn't. I've looked at the mechanics. He has the big leg kick going, which he was doing in New York at the end of last year. And to his credit, Duran swung it well. I think he has 2 hits in his last 2 games, each one. But I don't know. Like you can talk up maybe Duran reaching another level. I don't know. But against lefties, like, are you that confident he's going to improve dramatically? I wouldn't be.
I just think their ceiling is the highest right now with him playing. Like trading him doesn't make any sense to me with how you've constructed the rest of the roster.
It would depend on what the return was for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's untradeable by any means, but it's more like I'm not actively shopping him when I don't know that I don't have any better internal options.
Yeah, and at this point in the offseason, in terms of pathways in general, you just don't have a lot. So it's like one thing in the middle of the offseason when you're like, all right, like there's a million possibilities. Let's feel this out. Let's play it out. At this point in time, like, are you going to upgrade significantly from Jarren Duran? You would need that package. You would need to believe that Massa is going to step up and be closer to, what he was in 2023. And then the return from Duran would factor in, along with the idea that Campbell or Casas can step into this role maybe in July or August and hit another level if Yoshida isn't getting it done.
Yeah, I would love to entertain all these thoughts and ideas, but it really is just going to come down to like, all right, someone got hurt, so it figured itself out.
Correct.
Like I was just trying to recall, earlier in the off season, I was like, man, like I kind of like want to reach out to Jarren about, how the off season's going and like pick his brain. But I was like, I also don't want to do that because I was like, what if he's not even here? Like, what if he just knows he's being traded and why would he care how the Red Sox off season is going? Like that was my thought in November, December, being like, I almost like don't even view him as part of 2026. Like it's just kind of this foregone conclusion that he's getting traded. And then the longer the offseason went, I was like, they're really not going to do it, huh? Like now he's going to show up to spring training. Like, is it going to be like when he shows up to spring training, is it going to be awkward? Are there still going to be trade rumors in spring training? And like, there hasn't even been that. So no. I think the trade Duran ship has sailed, at least for now. I mean, like maybe it comes up again at the trade deadline or something like that. But I think as far as spring training goes and the start of the year, I'm not expecting like a Rafael Devers surprise May trade. You know what I mean?
And I think we've seen their original plan was to sign a hitter and flip Duran for a pitcher. That's what the plan was. Whether it was going to be Cole Reagans, wherever they were kind of talking to at that point. When they couldn't get the bat through free agency, they end up getting Ranger Suarez. And we saw it with Duran. It was talking with the Astros. Will you take him? Can we make it work for Paredes? And they couldn't. And at that point in the offseason, there just wasn't a lot of pathways. And I think they do look at it and say like, yeah, could we get a prospect return for him? Probably, but what you do with those prospects, is it going to make you better in 2026, a year where you're trying to compete? Probably not. Even though I'm someone like, if you could get an elite position player prospect, and this was probably before Durbin, but someone that would have slotted into that role and was really close, to be like your third baseman of the future, I would have thought about it pretty heavily. That would have been something, I would have jumped on.
Think about that. I wouldn't use Caleb Durbin as like, oh, we can't possibly upgrade that position.
No, you're just not as desperate. Like I think it was Aiden Miller, Ian Kundal was talking about recently. Like that would have been the kind of guy I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do it. But I think the way you're valuing the player at this point, he isn't worth Aiden Miller. Maybe a year ago before this, after his MVP vote season, yeah. But
who among us?
I don't. Yes, Coley. Credit to you. At that time, you were saying trade him. At that point, I wasn't, and like I still think it would have been a very hard move to make at that time. But hey, it's when you're Craig Breslow, you got to make hard decisions, and you had Craig or Roman Anthony waiting for you. So
I still don't know, like, because Castillo says that every time too, when he's just like, oh, that would have been a hard sell. Is it like you're guaranteeing Roman Anthony an opening day spot on the roster? That to me was the easiest sell they're ever going to have. I think it's become a much harder sell. It's why we got the update like 2 days before the deadline. Like, nope, they've taken him off the market because they don't think the team's going to respond well, which they probably wouldn't have.
And he was their best hitter that month.
Right. So like they've made every time since much worse. And then I don't remember last year, and we were going to talk about it anyways, but like I don't remember there being any Wilson Contreras extension talks last spring. And now they're saying that's not Wilson Contreras, Willie Abreu. My apologies.
Oh, yes.
Willie Abreu extension talks. I don't remember that happening in real time last year. Maybe you do. So that coming out now is like they tried to pay him last year. It's like, okay, so this whole time they've known. Sorry, go ahead.
It was 2024 where they talked to him, not 2025.
But even more, like they knew, because I was when Rafael got his extension, right?
Well, that's my question. And with all of this, Coley, Did they try to pay Willier before they paid Rafaela? And then when they couldn't pay Willier, they pivoted to Rafaela. I also think a part of this equation is the way we talk about Ceddanne Rafaela now. I think for a lot of people is a lot different than the way we talked about him a year ago. For me personally, it is. And I think the Red Sox had real questions whether the hit tool was going to take a step forward. Credit to him, it did. And I think they're hoping for another one, and he's off to another great spring training. But I think at that time, that made the Duran holding even harder or, easier to do for them because they were like, well, we don't know what Rafael is. He might just be this super utility player that we keep around. Now, the whole world sees it. All right, there's a guy who could maybe be a league average bat here while playing the best center field in all of baseball. That's an extremely valuable player.
But it's also, if that was their thought at all, it continues to be strange to me, like the guys they're extending and the reasoning behind it. Like, don't just give out an extension because one guy turned it down, if that's your theory, which I don't think is completely unfair. I know you guys
because one guy is just open to it.
Sure, but if you don't have a plan for him to be an actual Pete, like why would you extend a super utility guy now, like before he proved he was even that? That doesn't make any sense. You extend a guy because you think he's going to be a contributor. Whether or not he is a different conversation. That's on the player. I mean, but your plan, your vision needs to be more clear.
Roman was a no-brainer, so I think they don't necessarily get credit for that. But like Christian Campbell, that hasn't looked good so far.
Well, what's their plan? It continues to be my question with Campbell. And if they gave it to Rafaela because Abreu turned it down, that's not a plan either.
Rafaela hasn't looked great so far. And they wanted to that was an unnecessary extension.
I think it's pretty good.
Saying
though.
It doesn't look great is a different thing. Though.
I think it's solid. I don't think it's bad.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, maybe.
Like you didn't need to do that. Like if he played out his years, and it's not something where it's like, oh man, he's going to cost us $300 million if he reaches free agency.
Sure. No doubt. I don't think
Brian Bayo,
hasn't looked good.
That one was like, okay.
I think that one's more questionable than the Rafaela one.
Yeah, I mean, there's holes that you can poke in all of them. And then the Tristan Casas one, he just didn't want to do it. You wanted to.
Right.
So if they had gotten what they wanted, then they would have had another extension with a player where it's like, oh, this one's not like looking too great. I'm not saying that, it's not a bad thing that they signed Rafaela to an extension. It just wasn't a necessary, like, thank God we did that kind of thing.
I think
no, but it's also more just like, only give these guys extensions at all. Casas is an easy one because it's like, this is a first baseman or a DH. Like, we'll have a spot for you. We'll find a way to, even though they don't have that now. But at the time, it's like, yeah, no problem. If you're giving Rafaela, who his glove was well known, like that wasn't a surprise. You're not giving that guy an extension just because someone else turned it down, in my mind. But the way they've acted with Campbell, for example, it's like, yeah, they are kind of just giving out extensions with no concrete plan.
No plan. Yeah. It's like, where's the path I think it's now?
Yeah.
Well, that's where the luxury tax conversation comes in versus actual dollars being spent, right? And you look at this luxury tax number that a lot of people is like, it feels inflated. Well, you have a lot of these guys right now whose luxury tax hits are up because you signed them for this extension, and they'll be better at the end of that deal. But the money you spent, in these first couple years where these players were supposed to be cheap, they're more expensive now. So you have less money to kind of spread about. And I think that's where the timeline conversation for some of these comes into question. I think with Rafaela, like they looked at it and said, look at the glove. Like the glove provides such a floor that it won't be hard to move. And as we know at the deadline, it was the Rays, right? They were like, we'll give you Yandy Diaz and we'll take Ceddanne Rafaela right now. Like that deal. And I think for an organization like the Rays to be willing to jump on that extension, it speaks to how it's viewed in baseball. You know what I mean? Sure. It's there's value there.
Again, I think just to clarify, not a bad extension, just wasn't a necessary one.
And I think it
wasn't looking great. That's all we pushed back on.
Yeah. I think there is something, though, where there was this belief, this push where, all right, well, we're not spending in free agency. We'll show you. We're going to do homegrown talent. We're going to hand these contracts out. We can be one of these teams. We've talked about wanting to be one of these teams. We want to change the way people look at us because we haven't paid some of our more recent homegrown stars early like we should have. Part of it was Devers, where they probably were upset and felt like, damn, we overpaid in our eyes for this guy because we waited so long. We don't want to live that again. We don't want to play that again. And I think that's where some of these deals all came into into place. Because to think like you were tossing extensions offers to all these guys, it's like if some of these were accepted, some of these other guys aren't getting one. Like there's too many that are in the fire right now.
Possible.
Like, do you think if
Devers not being signed either the day before or after Austin Riley remains they're like as big of a fuck up as like letting Schwarber walk, trading Mookie, like any of that, like genuinely insane behavior.
Yeah. And I think for them, it's just like, can you imagine a world where Rafaela has an extension, Willier, Tristan, Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony, Brian Bayo, Ceddanne Rafaela, like all these guys?
Think so, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can. That feels a little crazy to me.
Because Bayo's too, like, because I've heard Chris and Ian break it down because they in real time they were perplexed. Then they're like, yeah, will we get 2 years of free agency off that? And it's going to be, 9 AAV at the time? Like, that's crazy value. Whether or not I saw people freaking out about his start. It's like, let's all settle down. Like,
please.
This is the DR's number 3 starter. Like, clearly people think quite highly of Brian Bailey. Like, let's just calm the fuck.
But it's also, over the offseason, we heard like he wasn't as valuable as maybe the Red Sox and a lot of people thought he was going to be when you started bringing him up to other teams.
If a team was trading for him, it becomes 14? Like his AAV to a different team is much different than it is
slightly.
To us.
Yeah.
Because it's just the remaining money. So it is a little different there. That's where if you were trying, but when they signed Brian Bayo, let's not pretend it was the same pitching depth in this organization at the time. Like it was Bayo and fucking me and T. Like that was our pitching depth when Bayo got that. Like if he's a 4 the rest of his days, what a deal. What a bargain.
Well, and it's also like, as much as you can be down on Brian Bayo and some of the metrics you see at times, like with his stuff, we all look at it and say like, man, there is so much there. And last year, to his credit, service numbers wise, he did reach that level. He got the job done.
He's been good.
When you look at Brian Bayo, it does feel like, all right, there's a lot to cook with. Like if he can get this changeup back to where it was, which, it looked okay in that first start, and I'm not going to overreact to it. It had a couple, Steve.
Ooh, what up, Section 10 in the building?
That's crazy.
That's
crazy. I think him working with Suarez and Gray is going to be...
Yeah.
It should be good for him. I'm not going to say it will be good for him, but like those guys seem like, hey, Sonny Gray does a lot of what you even... Sorry, Jared, I didn't see you.
Do you guys think that Brian Bayo getting that opening day start has hurt his like perception with the fans? Like if he just never got that opening day start, because I feel like it's like we as in the team crowned him and he was the opening day starter. I get it. It was in the Dominican Republic where they did the extension and the whatever, but like him getting the opening day start, I think put in fans like, oh, he's Pedro. Opening day, he's Dominican, right-hander.
That's the worst thing that ever happened to him.
Easily.
Like, that is it. Being compared to Pedro Martinez and, the workout
Poppy
videos
Pedro
with him.
Martinez.
That is the worst thing.
If he had just come up, not gotten that opening day start, and also didn't get that extension, I think just pitched exactly the same. Pitched exactly how he's pitched since he made his big league debut. I think fans are like, yeah, like, he's Brian. Like we would be hyping him up, not we, the fan base. We would be hyping him up as in like, you guys aren't seeing this. Like you guys don't appreciate how good he is. But I think the Pedro comps, the extension, which isn't even a lot of money, is just the fact that he got an extension, which means like the team said, we believe in you, like right out the gate. Like that's what it acknowledges. And the opening day start. Yeah, all of it. It's like, I feel like that is why he's looked at through a lens of like, he's good, but he could be better. He could be better. It's like, take away all those other things and just look at the numbers, look at what he's done. And I think fans would look at him as like an underdog. It's like, yeah, Sonny Gray, Garrett Crochet, and Ranger Suarez, but you're sleeping on Brian Bayo. Like Brian Bayo being our number 4, like that's pretty good rotation right there.
I don't know if there's really anything, because his play on the field, he has the best 10 starts to start a career against the Yankees and Red Sox. Is it Red Sox or baseball history? Like he's kind of chef them up, except for the playoff start, obviously, which didn't go great. But I don't know. People have kind of just always been down on him. I think eye test, he's a weird pitcher because he throws 98. but it's
he
not
doesn't
always
strike guys
by
out.
someone. Yeah,
That's the issue.
He's trying to induce contact, and honestly, he's had some of the most dog shit defenses his entire career. I'm excited to watch him with what appears to be a functional defense. I think,
Competent.
to what you're saying, more people will be like, oh yeah, this guy is, for 162 games. Yeah, I would love to watch Brian Bayo pitch
Happy
with
to
a
have
competent
him in
defense.
my rotation. Yeah. And again, like, I look at if you have a starting pitcher who's homegrown that you gave an extension to, that was an opening day starter for you, and now he's your number 4, wouldn't the perception be like, man, he fell off? Like, oh man, like he that's your opening day starter. Now he's your number 4. It's like, well, he's still really good. It's just the rotation is so much better now than it was when he was the opening day starter. That's all it is.
Which I've been calling for since he was the opening day starter. Every offseason, I'm like, please get me 2 starting pitchers to slot in ahead of him. And then last offseason, it was like, we got Crochet, obviously slots in ahead of him. And then who else? Oh, Walker
Tanner
Buehler.
Houck.
It's like, we'll see. Yeah, Tanner Houck, to be fair. I mean, Tanner Houck he was an all-star pitcher of the year before. Like, he had slid ahead of him. But I was like, yeah, make Bayo the 4, because then if he hits his ceiling, Jesus Christ, what a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say for Bayo, like, you can get frustrated at times that maybe he's been inconsistent or, he hasn't reached the level some hoped, but he works his ass off. If you see him down there, dude, he's added a lot of weight the last couple years.
Yoked.
Dude, he does. And like, he's tweaking the arsenal. Like, the changeup's supposed to be here. The curveball's weird as fuck. Like, if you're into the pitching data, Stats was posting it. It is the same as essentially the sweeper he was throwing a year ago. He threw 2, and 1 he got a really good swing and miss from Jesus Sanchez. But clearly, like, they're not that far along on this curveball, and he has a new changeup grip, which he's throwing still in that like upper 80s velocity band. His whole arsenal was down about a mile per hour, and it doesn't matter. But when you're talking about, he is throwing the changeup a little bit slower. Well, if everything else is a tick down and the arm is accelerating, like, that's going to get to the same band. So I don't know. I think, and Cora said it himself, and Bailey was talking about it, like, the focus he put on the cutter and the sweeper really made him lose the feel for the changeup, and that's what Suarez went through. I just hope they can find that, because if he gets the changeup, that's what can change everything for him. When you go back and you watch those first starts, you forget how nasty that changeup was. It got him to the big leagues. It was that pitch. And the fact that he's learned to survive without it and go post a 3.35 ERA without it is kind of crazy. Like, to essentially tying your best weapon behind your back and you're able to still be a good major league pitcher. Like, there is something to that where you're like, all right, this guy, like, he's found a different way to do it, and so few guys can do that.
On the subject of the rotation, I do want to talk about the 5th spot. We haven't really talked a lot about that, but first I do want to talk about Blue Moon.
Please.
Yeah, I do. I would love to talk about Blue Moon. Yeah, I agree. Even if you love beer, there are some moments that you want to enjoy a non-alcoholic drink. Celebrate those times with Blue Moon's non-alcoholic Belgian white, Belgian style wheat brew. It's for when you want to drink a non-alcoholic version of your favorite beer. This weekend, we might have a special guest, someone that we're recording with this weekend. And so far, so good in terms of the planning. I think we're hoping to record this interview on Sunday night. I'm going to have a Blue Moon in hand for that one, T.
Wow.
Yeah.
Drinking on the job.
Well, it's cause for celebration.
I'm not against it. I think our guest would carry a similar vibe.
Sure. And if it's non-alcoholic, then what's the big deal?
Ooh, great point.
Thank you. Inspired by the beer you already love and available year-round, a Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew that tastes like drinking, even if it's not. Crafted with Valencia orange peel and coriander, it tastes balanced and refreshing. Nothing compares to the great taste of a Blue Moon non-alcoholic Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew. Blue Moon made brighter. Get Blue Moon non-alcoholic Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared for delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Non-alcoholic malt beverage, contains less than 0.5% alcohol per volume.
Suck one.
Okay, so the 5th spot in the rotation. We just talked about how, well, the Red Sox, they didn't want to move Marcelo Mayer in a deal, or was it Connolly Early that they refused to move in a deal? Could it have been both? Was it two separate deals that they didn't want to trade either one of those guys. Very comfortably, we can say Garrett Crochet is your number one, followed by Ranger Suarez, who you signed in free agency, as your number two, and Sonny Gray as your number three, who you added via trade, and then the aforementioned Brian Bayo, who I think we all would acknowledge has a case for one of the best number four starters in baseball, because there's been a lot of praise for the Red Sox rotation. Not just is it very good from a 1-2-3, but it's very deep. It's a deep rotation where you're going to have a chance to win every day. You know, they say, oh, when you have an ace, you have a chance to win every fifth day. The Red Sox have a chance to win every day. That's a great luxury to have. So then we get to the number 5 spot, and I talked earlier, well, there's not a lot of competitions. I would say that there could be a competition for number 5. And I think that it's going to be fluid, right? Like, let's just say Johan Oviedo is the number 5 starter in the Red Sox rotation to start the year. That don't mean that he's just locked in. Like, these are not legally binding. Like, number 5 starter. All right, I'm number 5 starter for the whole year. Connolly Early is going to be knocking on that door. Peyton Tolley, who has added, what's he got now? A fucking, he's got like a
splitter.
It's a two-seamer.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a two-seamer.
And Andrew Bailey, they're calling it the 3-headed monster of hard. This is the new approach they're going with here. I know. It's crazy.
The boner seamer?
The boner seamer? So their whole thing here is, and I think it speaks maybe his secondary still maybe not coming along to the way they had hoped. Instead of, the changeup, fully developing and the curveball taking these steps, they're kind of doing what Garrett Crochet does. And Garrett Crochet last year, 80% of his pitches were the 4-seam fastball, the cutter, and the sinker. They're doing the same thing with Tolley. Throw those fastballs moving in different directions, and you can do that, and those can be the pitches you work around, and they'll help elevate your changeup, which I thought looked decent against the Twins. I didn't think it looked that bad. He had a swing and a miss in it, and with the new two-seamer, he struck out Matt Woolner on it. I think the curveball is the biggest secondary. That's a work in progress, but it seems like this new sinker should help alleviate some of those other pitches, and they're going the Crochet path with him.
They said Crochet was working on a pitch that looks like a splitter. That's why I was confused. Yep. That was where I was wrong. Yeah,
he worked on that at Vandy.
I would rather you already know how to throw a fastball. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he's graded as like the best fastball thrower in the entire minors, especially from the left side. So yeah, new fastball. Boom.
Okay. Boom.
Add another. Invent a new type of fastball.
Why not? So yeah, I mean, I love a competition at any position when you've got actual candidates. Like there's been years past where it's like, oh yeah, there's competition at whatever position. It's a bunch of slapdicks. Like, who the fuck cares wins this one?
Trace Thompson.
Yeah. But by the way, it was unbelievable that spring training. This in particular, it's an exciting competition, but it's only exciting if they don't have a pre-baked in plan. Like if they're actually going to go with whoever fucking dukes it out and looks the best and earns the spot, that's exciting to me. But if you tell me, we're putting Tolley in the bullpen no matter what, early start in the year in Worcester no matter what, if he looks great, doesn't matter. Like he'll factor in at some point later on, but we want to see what Oviedo looks like to start the year. It's like, okay, like that's probably how you see this going, right? Like it's Oviedo's going to be your number 5, but look out for early to, depending on how he looks in AAA, like he's going to be first in line. And then Justin Wilson is not here, so they're going to need a lefty out of the bullpen. That looks to be Peyton Tolley, that they would like to fill that role.
Where are you hearing that from?
No, they've ruled out Early and Tolley for the bullpen completely.
At any point?
No, for the start of the season, that they're not up for a bullpen role.
Yes. But I'm saying like
that's
gradually, yes. Yeah. Not even. Like I'm saying like midsummer. Like if it's like if they don't fucking add a lefty reliever, then you're going to have to look in-house.
I think that's the other thing, and McAdam had this the other day. They're looking for left-handed reliever help right now. Whether it's trade...
Shouldn't they have been looking all winter?
Dude,
like
they're waiting...
they're waiting not something where they showed up to spring training and were like, fuck, I knew I forgot something.
they're waiting out
it.
the guys on the market and they're hoping to get one of them, like Colby Allard had to accept a minor league deal. And it's dumb. I think go get Danny Coulomb. He will fit on this bullpen. He will make you feel better. It will work. Like you can add to that 7th inning mix and feel a little bit more comfortable with that group. They're just waiting it out. And I hate that approach. I really do on this because it's going to be a couple million. Don't cut corners here on something you actually are going to need. And I think there's upside to Giovanni Moran. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to crap on him, but there's good options out there. And Justin Wilson played a great role in this bullpen last year, and we act like he did nothing. I just don't get that mindset. And also, like, as great as Chapman was a year ago, you know, one of the reasons why you were able to survive and it wasn't as tough was because you had a lefty that could knock anyone out, whether you pitched him an inning early or whatever. If he's not that same guy, it speaks to you needing some of that left-handed reliever depth more. And Tyler Semenego, who came over in the password trade, he's dealing with some back stuff. He's going to throw tomorrow, I believe. But that's another guy that was kind of like the 1B to Giovanni Moran is like that competition this spring.
I still think it's going to be Semenego. I know I've seen the reporting too, and you've been talking about Danny Coulomb
Forever.
since November. Yeah, this is November, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I like coming into spring with a more settled bullpen. Like more, it seems I'd rather have more options. And right now it seems like they have more right-handed options between like Ryan Watson and people like that. But I don't know, for a team that like only had what felt like lefties last year, although I guess they went out and traded for Mats. Even he probably would have just been the right idea just to bring him back. Would he get 2 from Tampa?
Yeah, and he's going to be a starting pitcher, I believe, for them, right?
Well, that's a much different conversation. We definitely shouldn't have done that. That's crazy. Yeah, I would rather have this figured out. Moran's probably fine. I just don't know that I trust. Justin Wilson was getting like
They
8th
like him a
inning,
lot.
7th inning. Moran?
Yeah.
I mean, they had him last year and they still went out and traded for Mats. So
Mats
he's
was
not, like, young.
redundant at that point, though. No?
Who's their first move?
I didn't want to trade what we traded for him, so I agree.
Yeah, Blaze getting shipped
He ended
out.
up being fine.
But like he was your like lower leverage lefty, and I think they liked that he could go multiple innings, so like he could eat up some of those in the middle.
He did a good job.
Yeah, and you had like Sean Newcomb in the pen earlier in the year too, as like another lefty that functioned. But Justin Wilson was like the middle ground. Like you had these lefties that were extreme low leverage, and you had Chapman at the top. Wilson was the guy in the 7th inning. If, hey, Weisert's down today, Justin Slayton's on the IL. All right, this guy can eat and you can get by and survive. The fact that they didn't even like call the dude and he's like begging. Like he's like, dude, I'm going to retire. Like I'm out. I've read 8 Justin Wilson retirement stories. And like there's not even like they're not bending the knee at all on him.
He
and
he played the Rob Resnick.
Yeah. And like, dude,
no,
Justin
you don't want
Wilson,
me? I fucking retire.
bro.
Hello?
You can look at surface stats. You can look at Savant. Like he was a good pitcher last year.
He was.
Like
He faded towards the end of the year, though, right?
Yeah, but that was expected, right? Like a lot of people thought that was going to kind of be the case, and he's older. He's going to be 38 this upcoming year. Okay, cool. Yeah, he might fade towards the end of the year. Let's fucking. They also ran him into the ground all season. He was pitching constantly.
1,000%.
A lot of people,
1,000%.
a lot of people do not live to see 38.
Bro, think about how much Brennan Bernardino pitched last year. Especially early in the year.
They tried to kill him.
They had to shut him down for a month in
sent him to
AAA.
Colorado. They killed him. They absolutely killed him.
Oh, Braden Ward. Oh my, he is my
Get him
new. Nope. He is my new middle infield crush. He's no Nick Sogar, but whatever the tier below that is, he can hang out there. He will have a fun little stretch with the Red Sox. There's some Brock Holt to him. There's some Brock Holt to him.
You say that about
many people. We need to just like stop comparing players to like everyone's favorite mediocrely sized white guys from the past.
That is fair.
It's like Caleb Durbin. You short, you an infielder, you Pedroia. You a white little utility player, you Brock Holt. Like it's just you can't do that because then it sets the expectations
Bill Hall
too high.
Vibes.
Dude, Bill Hall was one of my favorite players of all time. Yeah,
I wish he played for us instead of Milwaukee that whole time. He was nasty.
Oh my God. He would have had a statue. Bill Hall, one of my favorite Red Sox of all time. I think he was only here for 2010 was the one year?
1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man.
Was
I think
that
that's like
last
one of
year?
my Facebook profile pictures is Bill Hall just fucking croaking one.
He was with Houston and the Giants in 11 and then the Orioles in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was cooked.
Shut up, Bill Hall.
Oh my God. How many homers did he hit in 2010, T? I'm going to say
Yes.
18.
What was the number?
18. I would have said like 13.
Oh, Jared nailed it. 18 on the dot.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Do I know
Holy
Bill
shit.
Hall or do I know Bill Hall?
This guy knows ball, man.
Fuck,
Holy
man.
shit.
It's disgusting. We're like, we hopefully get one guy who hits 20 this year. The projections are
That's
like
malarkey, though. That's
you would
malarkey.
die for 9 Bill Halls would beat this team's brains in.
There's going to be 4 guys that hit 20
4
this year.
minimum.
I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing about the Red Sox not having a guy that can't hit 20. Story, Willier, Contreras, and Roman.
No Jaron.
Nah, he's not a 20 homer guy.
24.
He's DHing.
24, he hit 21 jacks.
And now he's only hitting for what we think.
Well, this is part of my new
they're
Jaron
going to limit
Duran
him
thing.
against lefties, too. So, I mean, not that he was cranking homers off lefties, but I don't know. He's going to be more of a doubles, triples guy.
I think Duran this year, if you're going to be DHing, I need 40 bags. If you don't have to be out on your legs every day, go run. I want you running like a madman. I want to see 40 bags. You kind of lessened up on it a little bit last year. You are getting close to 30 at this point. I kind of just want to see you go for it. I want to see how many you can rack up in a season.
Did I have a fever dream, or did a player acknowledge the nips for trips and that they were saving it for the big leagues and didn't want to do it in spring training? Who the fuck was that?
Shout out Hunter Knoll. They had Mikey Romero on the podcast. He had no idea.
It was Mikey Romero that said that?
It was. He had no idea what nips for trips was. They explained it to him, and then he said that.
Man. That's awesome.
Yes. It was very cool. I appreciate Hunter is the absolute man. I've done their pod earlier in the off season.
Shout him out.
Shout him out. I think it was.
I asked you to shout them out. You didn't. What's the pod called?
What'd you say?
You don't know the name of the podcast?
He's not setting you up. He's not setting you up.
What do you mean he's not setting me up?
What's the name of the podcast?
He's not setting you up to bang you. He really is asking you to say the name of the podcast.
It's the Pesky Report.
Okay. That's what I'm asking. There's so many peskies.
I'm telling you.
Everything's a pesky. I mean, am I wrong? There's
everybody a pesky.
There is a lot. There's a lot.
There's like between blogs and podcasts, there's like a pesky something and a Fenway something. Like it's
a monster.
A Yawkey. Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. Yeah.
But yeah, Mikey Romero, big nipples guy.
Is he?
That's what it came off as. Alex Cora, massive Mikey Romero guy.
Yes, he is. Also, shout out to Allie, who's like an OG, like big time Section 10 listener. She's a teacher. She apparently took off years of listening to the podcast, came back for the Brock Holt 600 and was like, so who's this Tyler guy? And can anyone describe him to me? My only introduction to him is that he wants to kill Brock's dogs. And people were like, buckle up. Like you're just scratching the surface of what this guy is.
It's really all you need to know.
Yeah. That's kind of like the introductory sentence is like, yeah, like he killed his dog, but like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did feel bad. People in the Reddit feel like I've been talking about death too much. So I'm trying to tone it down a little bit.
Oh, you guys not discovering that the Reddit is not a good place to be anymore?
I have imperfections, and I can understand. I think sometimes when you have a lot of death in your life, Coley, you can probably relate. You make a lot of jokes about this. I make a lot of. That's how I cope with it. I'm sorry, Cole. I just kind of like shouted you out for a lot of people dying in your life. But like, I don't know. It's just unfortunately how I choose to joke about it and deal with it. But not everybody's that way, and I understand that. So I took their advice.
Are you apologizing?
Yeah, I'm trying to be a better version of myself.
Well, that's big of you, T.
Man of the people.
Mm.
And I will say, Mikey Romero has committed to doing an episode of Section 10. It was September 2024, but he has.
Huh?
We talked about it. We had a full conversation about this. I knew you weren't going to remember it.
Who? Me?
Mikey Romero. Yes, me and you.
How do we have a conversation about that?
We were like, we'll do it during the off season, and then it just, the off season happened. This was
who talked to him? You?
Me? Yes.
Way to book that guest, T.
Yeah,
we said we were going to do it at some point.
Wait. You talked to Mikey Romero.
Tyler Milliken.
You said, will you come on Section 10? And he said, yup. And then you never followed up on that?
You blocked him.
I had put out a tweet, I believe, just talking about why I like the player. He was like, oh, yeah, I don't want to reveal the entire conversation here, but he appreciated it. Yeah, he appreciated the comments. And I was like, oh, we should definitely do an interview for Section 10. And he was like, let me know.
And did you let him know?
We didn't plan it. I came and talked to you. We're like, we'll do it during the offseason. And then we never did it.
I asked you a yes or no fucking question, Tyler.
No, I didn't book it.
So
we said we were going to set it up.
Who's we?
But you didn't.
You were the one with
us.
the direct line. Who has a direct line to Mikey Romero, T?
All of us. You. You could too.
I do now. Not in 2024, I didn't.
Well, we talked about it at the time. We're like, all right, let's get to the offseason. Were you going to do a Mikey Romero interview on September 10th?
I would.
Shout me out.
What year?
2024?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
We're not going to do that.
Why?
We're finishing the season.
Bad season.
I'm not disagreeing.
It's Coley's birthday.
Hey, Danny Jansen.
Don't shout him out.
Yeah. Listen, T, I want Mikey Romero on the podcast.
I'll make it happen.
I mean, we're kind
Get
of
him on by
10:30.
I know. I was about to say we got a couple guests lined up
Yeah, we
right
got
now,
a couple
right?
guests lined up. But yeah, we're recording something Sunday. We're recording something a week from today. Kind of getting booked up, you know? But I feel like, you know what it is? You know what it is, T?
Yes.
I'm starting to just be like, fuck it, I'll ask. But I don't like to bother people. And I also have a fear of rejection. So like, I don't want to like, you know what it is too? And I've said this on the podcast before. My fear is like, I just get into these like super focused pockets of time where I'm like, let's lean heavy into the guests. Like, let's book a bunch of guests. But then if I ask someone that I really want on the podcast, and then you ask someone else, like they're thinking like, oh, like they get the message and they're like, oh, fuck yeah, like let's do it. And like, oh, he asked you too. Oh, he asked everyone. Oh, all right, then never mind. Like I try to space it out because I don't want them to feel like I'm just spamming invites. Like, you know, it's like being like drunk at the bar at 2 a.m. and like texting like, hey, you up to like 7 girls and then just hoping that one of them answers. Like I want all of them on and I want them to know that I want all of them on. I want them to feel special because they are to me.
I also think last offseason, 24 into 25, we had that thing going where we had like a weekly guest. Like whether it was, you know, we kind of went down the whole Clark's Catch-Up panel and that kind of did it. We didn't do that this offseason, so maybe there's more of a lane for some of these interviews leading into the season right now. Yes. Dying. Who was on that day?
I know that Will Fleming was on when I almost bled to death. I had to like, I was doing the podcast on my couch and had to like get up and leave for like 45. And that was like your first time ever interviewing someone one-on-one.
I was about to say that wasn't Section 10 era. That was name redacted era.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right, here we go. Like, let me dance, I guess.
I had a medical issue that I kept to myself for years. And then I remember that playoffs specifically, there was a podcast that I had to kneel on a stool and then was bent over the table and had the microphone down on the table by my mouth just to do that one. Then there was the Will Fleming one where I had to stop the podcast halfway through because I was on the couch and I was like about to bleed to death. Then that, I want to say it was that postseason. I was trying to fight because it was like the ALCS, NLCS, and the World Series. I was going to the hospital during the day to get morphine and then coming home at night to do the podcast.
You're a sick fuck.
Yeah. But we didn't miss it. We didn't miss an episode. 602. 602. We here for all of them. Shit. Yeah. But hey, listen. I'm excited about the guests that we have coming up because the 2 that we have booked, both of them are first-time guests. Neither have been on the show before. And I know
I would have guessed I knew that for one. I wouldn't have guessed it with the other.
I mean, you would have been here.
Not necessarily.
When
you've done Pedro twice. I wasn't on either of those.
Yeah, but that was like 2015, 2017, 2019.
No, I was on the show for the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like on site. That was like out of like a location. It was like one of his events that we did it. But yeah, I actually, you know what? I'll tell you what I told this person, T.
I was about to say, I have a hint on the guest. I don't know if people could put it together.
So I texted this person and I said, what's your availability looking like this evening? Got the answer. And I said, we can do it next week. I said, Tyler's been down. Figured I'd give him a treat. And this individual said, I don't like hearing that about him. Tell him I want him to be okay.
I will say meeting this person might be my favorite baseball moment since we started doing this.
You throw out the first pitch at Fenway.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of, well, even still, honestly, that was nerve wracking. This was just like one of those moments where it's like the world is in front of you and like you're so amazed, like you almost can't even ask the questions to the world. You're like, it's like when you get to see God and you're like, dude, I don't even know what to say to you. That's kind of what it felt like. I was like, you have the info, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't give any more details.
I think you guys have a big time mutual respect for each other. Like,
he said so many nice things when we met.
You respect what he does, and he very much respects that you are in lockstep with what he does and the knowledge that you have. It's like you make him feel seen, I think.
I think it's cool.
The work that I do matters is, I think, how you make him feel.
I think 5 years ago, his role would never be talked about publicly, like in that way. And now where the game's going, and I think this market where people are so obsessive and into the entire organization and how it functions, now there's a platform for a voice like that. And I'm so happy for him because I think he's great at breaking it down and talking about it, whether it's podcast, radio, interview, he does it all.
He is great. He's one of my favorite baseball people, no doubt. Like I've gotten to know him over the years, and he's just a quality human being, and I'm very excited that he's going to be coming on the podcast. I've like, there's always so many people, like Raquel Ferreira included, like for fucking years. I've like, let me pull that up. I don't even know what made me think of it. I've been asking her. I remember it was the same night as when Rafi was not comfortable enough to speak English, he asked JD in Spanish to ask me who I think the next manager was going to be. This was after Cora got fired and they were still waiting. And we were at a poker table in Springfield at the Fan Fest. This was 2019 going into 20. And he was like, he wants you to ask you who you think the next manager was going to be. I was like, Ron Renicky. And he's like, So it was that night that I asked Raquel for the first time to come on the podcast. So it's been a long time coming with her as well. Let me see. Monday, January 19th, I said, my 2026 New Year's resolution is to get you on the podcast just so that you know it's time. So I think we're going to get a bunch of first timers on here that I've been tracking down.
The amount of stories someone like her has, like you could probably do like 30 hours of a podcast and just even in the doc, she's like one of the cooler characters.
She's the Red Sox, like she's like the team mom, but like obviously she's so much more than that. But the relationships that she has with all the players, and
exactly,
like if you were to ask her like which group was your favorite or whatever, like she would probably talk about 07, Tyler. You could probably get so many 07 stories out of her because she was like, yeah, like 04 was great. But like 07, like these were like all of our babies. Like these were like the young like ones that were like we developed, and yeah. So you could probably get some great 07 talk out of Raquel.
Need it.
Yeah. I'm gonna make that one happen.
Who'd she make in the doc give a bigger tip? Was that Bayo?
Yeah, Bayo.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but she lied and like because the team was covering it, but she was like, "Oh, you got to leave a big fat tip." Blah blah blah. She tried to stick him with the bill, and he was like, "I'm not doing it.
I'm broke.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be cool to get some first timers on here because I don't know. I mean, I think the fans deserve it. I think the fans deserve to hear from these folks. And like you said, T, it's a great point. In many other fan bases, I don't think that they know that people like this guest exists. Like they're just not like that deep in the weeds. But here, I think that a lot of people know who he is. And yeah, I think it'd be a fascinating conversation. And I'm excited to see you in your element with this individual.
I already have a doc. I'm going to start getting my questions. I might come in with 30, 40 for this one.
Well, you've got 7 days. You've got 7 days.
It's going to be like the guest list.
I mean, you could say that, the excitement that you have for next Wednesday's guest, I might have that for Sunday's guest.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I just, there's going to be some special clips that come out of that.
Yeah.
Because anytime this person talks, it does numbers. It's just the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Oh, on the fifth starter conversation, to circle back to that, how we started all this, I really do think it's a 3-person race. I don't think Cutter or Sandoval are going to be rotation candidates by the time opening day rolls around.
Well, you can file that under no shit.
Yeah, well, I think for a lot of people at the start of camp, it was like, all right, Cutter's a little behind. I think for Patrick Sandoval, we start hearing, oh, he's throwing live BP. He's hitting 94, 95. That's a fair thing to say, but
do you think that the chance of him never throwing a pitch for the Red Sox is more likely than the alternative?
Yeah, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I do think if they're able to kick the can down the road, it's more likely he will be on this team.
That's a big phrase for you this show, T. You've been loving the kicking the can down the road.
It's the team identity. They've been doing it for a year and a fucking half. But
certainly with the outfield situation, but I don't know. We've talked about Patrick Sandoval too much, but every time we do talk about him, it's always like, well, if he's healthy enough, they should just move him because of the money and all that. And there's going to be teams. What I see, Merrill Kelly's not going to be ready to start the year. Fucking get on the horn with Arizona. Why don't you go? Or is he in Texas? Where the fuck is he?
Arizona,
Arizona. He went back to
right back.
Intercostal strain.
Yeah.
Have
a Patrick Sandoval
or the Braves?
We just talked needing a lefty reliever. He's already on the team. Does that not make the most sense?
No, and that's where I was going to bring up Sandoval because he's farther along than Cutter. Like Cutter is still doing up and downs. He hasn't even faced a hitter yet. Sandoval, he's facing hitters. He's hitting 94, 95. They're going to have him throw a live bullpen later this week, then a scrimmage, and then he's going to pitch in a game. He may not have 5 innings by the time the end of March rolls around, but he may have 3. And if you're looking for I talked about Cutter Crawford and how I want him in this relief role. Well, if he's even further behind, do you just let Sandoval do that for a bit, especially if you don't end up getting the lefty you want? I do think that is a possibility here. And, at that point, maybe it depends on what they see out of Oviedo, who, he pitched today, and I think it was a pretty mixed bag. He was wild. It was 33 pitches, 15 strikes. A little bad luck with defense while you're playing left field. There was a ball that fell in that probably shouldn't have. But they're trying to rework his mechanics, and you're not going to overreact to one start. But yeah, I do think with the Sandoval thing, I do feel a little less confident in a trade happening as spring training goes around. Just because I do think there may be a role here, at least for a month, to buy them some time.
Has there been a report about him coming out of the bullpen, or is that just something that you guys thought about?
It's been floated amongst the beat that it could be an option for them. And Cora was asked directly, and he goes, they're pitchers. He's like, if they go to the bullpen, they can do it. If he can go to the rotation, we trust these guys. If they have to throw innings, they can throw innings. I just think the Cutter Crawford role I initially had hoped he would fill, he's going to be farther away, and maybe they give Sandoval a shot and say, well, maybe we get a month into the season and Oviedo ain't doing it for us. We'll give you some run.
Well, I think they would still just go to early.
I think that's the most likely route too.
He would just get optioned, but obviously that's not how this works. Cutter still has options, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and early looked the best on anyone so far.
For sure. I think they like early the most. I do think all 3 of those guys, because Oviedo he can be optioned this year. I do think if you're using that number 5 guy is this is our number 5 from opening day until October. That's a stupid way to, and they're not going to do that. I don't know that it matters. As much as it's a cool race to see who makes the team, they're all going to pitch and they're all going to start for you this year. I'm not too invested in it because you have to go 7-8 deep. But last year, Newcomb was making starts and DFA and then was traded to to
Oakland,
Sacramento.
Yeah, and he had a good run with them.
For sure, he was good with us. It was shockingly good. And then, the Brewers come calling for Quinn Priesters. So it doesn't make any real sense to trade him now, but a month in, people will need pitchers. Like, I don't know that you need to make this decision right this second.
Yeah, and I think with Cutter being delayed, that hits your starter depth. Like, if he's a month away and he's building up against hitters, like, that's one less guy if something happens you can lean on or go to. So I don't know, just something to keep an eye on as we watch his kind of innings go. I will say for Connolly, velocity was up in that first start across the board, an entire tick. Now, to be fair, last spring he came in and he was throwing harder than he did. Didn't last throughout the year, kind of came in bursts as we saw when he came up, but he's up 15 total pounds. So I'll take that. And yeah, it's too early. It's one start, so I'm not going to read too much into any of this. And I'll mention in all this
anything into it.
Yeah, no. And with Jake Bennett today, this is one of the things I think you do read into. Already hitting 97.6. That does make it pop, even though the second inning wasn't that great. He maxed out at 95.8 last year, averaged 93.8 on the four-seamer. He averaged 95.3 on it today.
Doesn't he not do a lot of interviews?
So, yes, and that's where he went and did Andrew Parker's podcast, and he's very kind of nervous, but he pushed through it. I think David Sandlin helped set it up for them, and Andrew did an awesome job with it.
Yeah, I don't want to put him in a position where he's uncomfortable, but I mean, I do want to talk to him. I got stuff to say.
Me screaming about Luis Perales at this poor kid.
I was about to say, Coley, do you get anything out of that, seeing that? Because I know, like you said, the Perales thing kind of sticks in you a little bit.
No, I mean, if he's good, I'm not going to be like upset about him being like, I want him to be good. I don't want him to be bad, but I'll never agree. Like, I don't know that if you had called them for Jake Bennett at the deadline, it would have cost a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with the overall handling of trading Perales at that point in Perales's career. The return is, unless it was like Ketel Marte, Perales is the pitcher that went back. Then it's like, okay, I understand that. I don't really like, almost like how they handled Brandon Clark. They were like, this is a very volatile time. You traded Perales to a guy who was integral in Perales's development with you. Like, he clearly is very high on Perales. That's where I thought that was a stupid move.
I do think it's cool, at least now, to see that they targeted someone, a big body like that, and he's already tapping into this velo for a guy who already has a changeup. And it seems like he's reworking the grip, but secondaries that play pretty well for him with good command. Command wasn't that good today, so maybe that's the drawback of him throwing harder at this point in time. But if you compare some of these tools all together, I do think the ceiling conversation changes pretty dramatically from, oh, this was a floor kind of bet you made where, hey, Perales, we know the ceiling is what it is. We like the floor of a Jake Bennett. It feels like that ceiling is starting to rise, especially after today. And I do think that's pretty exciting.
Well,
I feel like I haven't heard anything on Perales in Nationals camp. I was looking around and like, I just couldn't find anything. Not good, not bad, just nothing. I don't know if that's like a, the amount of people that are down there. Yeah, it's just different than a place like here.
They just closed the Washington Post, right?
Good point. Good take. That's a great take.
The entire sports. He's like, I'm not hearing much on the net.
That is a great take. Fuck. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that'll hurt.
I mean, he could be throwing 107 miles an hour. That wouldn't get to us.
Well, because we get like the Brandon Clark update that he has like a aneurysm in his shoulder, and now he's not going to pitch till June. I'm not saying like, I
didn't even know that was medically possible.
I didn't either, and I'm reading it, but like that's where you're going to see these comps for some of these trades. Like guys missing time, and can you pick the right prospects? And David Dombrowski could do that. Can you do what David Dombrowski did? I don't know. We'll see if this is another version of that, and whatever happens with Perales. But we can all argue Perales has as much of a ceiling as anyone. It's the floor that you question. Even though I think the floor is still an elite reliever.
The floor is super high with Perales. Like, I'm tired of pretending like this wasn't. We just talked about Bayo being like the only guy. And Perales, it was like, holy fuck. And then he just got hurt, which is a thing that happens to literally every pitcher. So it was more of an option thing, right? He only had 1 year of options left. Bennett has multiple. That
was part of the problem. That you were going to have to get him on that 40-man very quickly and start dealing with that. But I do think for Bennett, like if you have a lefty throwing that hard, he'll be on top 100 list pretty soon.
Yeah, it always feels weird when he's already 25, right?
Yeah, he is on the older side, so that might limit him. But I think like
14 still.
Yeah, like the Brandon Clark thing. If you're a lefty and you even somewhat resemble a starter,
Sure.
bang, you're getting that check
I get
mark.
it.
Bang.
I completely get it. I just don't like selling low on a guy who, what did Sox prospect had him as number 2 or 3 for Perales?
Oh, at the time of the trade, I think it was.
And no, it was probably 3.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Behind Arias.
Yeah, I
Where
think
was
it was
Bennett
3.
in the Nat system?
I think he was like 8
or
8, somewhere around
that's
there.
Right. And we have him
Bennett's
6, right?
for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It is nice. Just like whenever I hear someone reference like at Pipeline or Baseball References Red Sox, I'm like, that's wrong. That's not the list. Sox prospects is the list.
When Perales got traded, he was 4. Early had just jumped him.
Sure. That's another thing. And this is a completely different rant. When guys come up like you Savage and dominate the majors and then you adjust your prospect rankings, that should be illegal.
I agree on that. I like that take.
You already know the answer to the question. Prospect lists are a complete guess. Like Connor Griffin is 19. He's a young boy. Like that, you put him 1, you're putting your nuts on the fucking table there. When Trey Savage is like World Series MVP, you don't get to be like, I actually think he's quite good as a prospect. No fucking shit, dude. No shit. Doesn't count.
Connor Griffin's one of my pool boys.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah.
What do you mean by
I don't know
that?
what that means.
The MLB Draft Combine. He's one of my pool boys.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
So is Jacob Wilson.
I thought you were speaking to a
Bryce
relationship.
Eldridge. No. Yeah. I've been doing it for what, 3 years? So yeah, I've got some guys now doing this for a little bit.
We'll always have the Baseball America mock draft. We'll always have the Connor Griffin projected to the Red Sox.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was him and what? Rainier were the 2 high school guys that year?
I think so, yeah.
The Tigers got Rainier?
Mm-hmm. I just remember that was the first time I had ever heard of Connor Griffin. I just remember the comments underneath. People were like, fuck another shortstop. If they draft another shortstop, I can't live anymore. I can't do it. It's like, all right, guys.
We've gotten better at that. Having been in the blog game for 20 years, it was almost like an annual tradition to have to explain to people that just be like, I remember like the Red Sox were going to get like a shortstop second baseman when Pedroia was here. And they're like, why would they draft, or like drafting a catcher when like Veritek was catcher. It's like, why would they do this to the captain? Well, you have to fill out a minor league system. And
it's very funny.
Yeah. Every year.
That was also the Braden Montgomery draft. So, crochet. Now, is there a world where like the Red Sox wouldn't have traded Connor Griffin, I believe, in my brain, if he was here? Maybe Campbell is like what goes out on the other end. Who knows?
Might have been Mayer.
Might have been, yeah. It easily could have been Mayer too. But it is interesting. Is there a world where you have Roman and Connor Griffin? He went 3 picks before you, so no, there isn't a world. But if the stars had aligned.
Listen, the baseball draft is fucking strange. Like you can call a guy and be like, don't sign with them.
That's how Mayer got to 4.
That's
how Mayer got to 4.
You can do it with so many guys.
Yeah.
The Pirates wanted to split up the money.
Yeah. You can pick where
it
you
is the
want
best
to go.
draft. Yeah, it's by far the best draft. I wish there was more, and it's getting better. I wish there was more of an immediate impact, like basketball and football, because if those sports did what baseball drafts did, people would lose their shit.
Yeah, you can pick where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about this picture now?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's the second to last thing on my note list.
What else is left?
Justin Gonzales.
Do you want to talk about Justin Gonzales and get that out of the way?
I don't think there's a ton to say, but the fact that he's like 6'6" now and he's 277 pounds and like
how tall is he?
6'6".
6'6".
Sorry. Oh, good, Coley. He wasn't even cooking me. I do think some people were like, they weren't mad, but maybe the way I explained it was wrong because his listed weight on everything is 6'4", 210. So I was like, all right, like this is the last official weight we have, and this is what he is. Like, the people were like, he gained 60 pounds in one off season. Are you fucking kidding me? I wasn't saying that, but I guess it read that way. But dude, what a tank. And the fact that he's talking about trying to be Aaron Judge, maybe some people don't like that. I think it's pretty cool. You don't like that, Cole? You're out on it?
course not, dude. Strive to be better. I don't want a fucking loser on my team. I want the best.
It's him or Stanton. Like, who else are you going to say that's built like that?
Stanton's much cooler. But you're right. There isn't anyone quite as large. I mean, when he was, what was he, like their minor league hitter of the year 2 years ago, and they brought him to Fenway, and he was just 3 feet taller than everyone else on the field, including the major leaguers.
Do you see the Ortiz picture in the dugout today? Ortiz is standing on the steps so he can look him in the eye. Like, you are a big fucking dude.
And he's 19?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a monster.
I make a ton of contact. I hit the ball hard, have a good arm. I can play defense. The goal is to be like Aaron Judge.
Because he was playing some center last year in Florida during the year. Like, they put him everywhere. They project him to first because he's going to be 7'7". Like, he's probably going to be on the Celtics. Like, if he's going to talk to, they're going to give him to Al Horford and teach him a low post game, and he's going to be a Celtic. But if that doesn't happen, like, he probably is a first baseman or robbing home runs at the monster in left field. Like, I'm the sky truly is there. We don't have a prospect with the ceiling Justin Gonzales has. Like, he clearly has the highest ceiling. Whether he hits it is a completely different conversation, but he comfortably has the highest ceiling.
Is he bigger than Will Campbell?
Like, taller?
He definitely,
way taller.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Way taller.
I think for Justin Gonzales, and like when you think about these big sluggers, you're like, oh, he strikes out a ton, right? No, 16% of the time. And last year, he maxed out 113 miles per hour was his max exit velo at 19. He's added 3 or 4 miles per hour this offseason. The biggest thing, last year he had a 52% ground ball rate. So that's why we haven't seen the homers out of him yet. He hits the ball into the ground a lot. They spent all offseason trying to get him to lift, and I've posted some videos, they've been on Twitter, of him starting to hit the ball in the air. If he starts driving the ball with his contact skills, and he draws walks, it's a 10% walk rate. Like Coley's saying, man, that is a ceiling that is hard to find.
And Salem last year had an 804 OPS over 81 games. Like, that's a pretty large sample size for an 18-year-old. Now, when he went up to high A, he played 11 games and it was a 451 OPS, but I'm sure he was 2-3 years younger than everyone else in the league. Like, the average age for high A, like, I don't know. I don't know if he ever hits his ceiling, but if he 75th percentile is his ceiling, he's going to be your number 4 hitter. Like, that's who he's going to be.
He's on pace to be 6'11", 330 by next spring. So
it's just what a tank, dude. What a
46-inch bat.
Yeah, he's a grown boy.
I love him so much. Like, that's what I like. If they were to trade him right now, what do you do? Like, why even have a team? You know what I mean?
I'd be fascinated. Like, how many teams have asked about him? Like, every team should ask. Why wouldn't
I'm sure
you
they're
ask?
asking more now, knowing that he grew that much and that he's also, for his size, very fast.
And he has a legit feel for hitting. Like, it's not a guy who's just like surviving on athleticism. He's kind of the opposite.
Right.
He's surviving on a good hit tool.
He might be Sean Casey, which would be even funnier if he
that
just
would be insane. Just Willie Mopena screaming singles all over the field like it's nothing.
I love his swing too. It's very trying to think of who it reminds me of. Like Acuna almost. Like, it's violent but smooth.
It's just like at his age, man, if he comes out and he just shows out at high A and that power's there, like, he's going to start flying through the system. Yeah. He's already moving extremely fast for his age.
Say he's fucking. Oh, you're talking about climbing. Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
He throws his fucking hips at the ball. Like, for his body type, the weight shifts back and then he throws all of that fucking 330 right at the baseball. Yeah.
And I love him.
I'm just very curious. Can they get him to lift the ball that way?
If he just hits line drives, even, like, they're going to come off the bat at 135 miles an hour. Like, no one's going to. Caleb Durbin's not catching that shit.
It's going to kill somebody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If Contreras can teach him how to just hit it right back up the box, people aren't going to pitch to him.
Yeah. Alex Bayer wrote the article if anyone does want to go check it out and read through it. It's a good read.
Like right now, they've got Tolley ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Arias ahead of them. Understood. Connolly early ahead of them. No doubt. Witherspoon ahead of them for sure. Valera.
That's here. Yeah.
Obviously is a very intriguing arm. Well, who did he K'd up someone? Was it Duran the other day?
Roman Anthony.
Roman. I knew it was a lefty. And Roman was like, can we get him up today?
Yeah, like this dude's
we need
fucking
this
nasty.
guy. But
like
with an arm
it's
like
that same
like, there is
projectable.
volatility. Yeah, there's a lot more volatility. I think with the arm, he could get hurt in a way that I don't know that Justin Gonzales feels pain. Like he's just so large. And then it's Bennett, who's right directly ahead of him and 6 years older. I don't even say that derogatorily, but he's like, that's the guy right ahead of him. There's a guy genuinely who had finished high school when he was still in like 6th grade.
Yeah, I think Valera is like kind of the pitcher version of Justin Gonzales in a lot of ways. Like a guy who has all the tools, like the secondaries, the velo on the fastball. Like, he's 6'3", 205. It has the pitcher build. Like, it's kind of all there. And to
Both
credit
19.
to Justin Gonzales, like, last year Valera, the surface level numbers weren't great. He was injured. Gonzales last year just went and did fucking damage. Showed up and he hit and hit and hit. But yeah, I think that's the tier of prospect where he belongs. I'd probably have him a little higher personally. I'd at least have him at 6. I'd have him ahead of Bennett.
Yeah, the age, it's so hard for me to consider a 25-year-old a prospect. Like he is, no doubt. But
yeah, especially with his injuries and what happened to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's
exciting. Has there been anything on Soto yet?
No. He posted some videos I've seen of like himself, but not much in terms of the hype on him. But like, he's the kind of guy where like, we're talking about Justin Gonzales the way we are now. It was after that first DSL year we really started hearing about Justin Gonzales stateside. Right now for Soto, we still just have a DSL season. So like, get him over to like the FCL, and I think that's when that chatter really pops.
For sure.
Justin
I just didn't know
Gonzales
if
had like
anything.
110 mile an hour exit velos in games last year.
Well, that's what I was saying. So I think he maxed out at 113, and they've said he's added 3 or 4 ticks this offseason. So that's like 117 at 19.
Yeah.
He's a monster. I obviously want it to work out, but I just enjoy having him in the system, check in on him every now and then, see that he's grown another 1.5 feet. Like it's like having a plant that you don't have to water. Like it's just like, oh yeah, still over there, still chilling.
Yeah, like you basically just like invested in Facebook in 2006. Just like if you could just go back in time and do that. It's like, all right, yeah, just let that sit for a little bit and I'll check back on in a few years and see what's up. 8 figures, huh? Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm a trillionaire. Interesting. Interesting.
I love that. It's good shit.
Yeah, Justin Gonzales. We should have like a Justin Gonzales segment kind of every show once he starts playing.
Where do you think he'll start the year?
High A?
High A,
So he
yeah.
finished the year?
Yeah, he'll return there. I'm trying to get back just
Can you
to
imagine
see.
living in Greenville and you just see Justin Gonzales walking around town?
I think when he gets promoted to Portland, we got to go.
I like that. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
2024.
When's he projected to make the big club? Early 28? That's not that far.
He had the 6th highest bonus in his international class with the Red Sox, too. A lot of these guys are already completely out of the league. Vladimir Asienso, he already got released by the organization.
Like immediately, too, right?
Yeah, they were done with him. He spent here last year, but they were done once the year ended.
It's hard. International games are real hard. I thought about this, T, and let me know where my flaw is. Obviously, I've got the Japan jersey on right now. Why aren't more teams taking their international bonus pool money and just hitting up like 1 or 2 Japanese high schools and being like, we are signing you, and you. You guys will be together. You can do that.
Yeah, I'm not knowledgeable enough to know. There's the kid who went to Stanford this past year.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what the story is there, like, versus going to college in America. Is it to avoid the entire posting system? Is that just the theory behind that?
Yeah, you can just get drafted.
And you get the NIL money, which I'm sure was substantial. But that's where it's like, all right, if I have, call it $2 million, I know that's not the number, but call it $2 million and I give 4 kids from like, what's that big tournament they have over there where every single person in the country plays? Yeah, if they just rolled up to that and it was like, all right, I went to the second place team and the third place team. I know the first place team, they're already going to, they're already drafted and have rights probably in Japan. But yeah, you guys, I'm going to roll the dice on 2 pitchers and 2 hitters. They probably won't all hit, but they're not all hitting now when I'm going to Venezuela and Brazil and the Dominican. So why not just try and tap into that market way early?
Yeah, give me the Danny Almonte of the Koshin.
Yeah. Legit.
Why not?
I'm shocked no one's tried that. It feels like there's
We've seen
like,
some, but they're always like lower level guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to think of the dude who is in the Red Sox system.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? I thought he was Korean.
He was.
Yeah.
But they had signed him and like it wasn't a lot of money. And he came in and there was like some decent hype behind him.
For sure.
Didn't end up, I think he got up to like AA here. And I feel like I just never heard his name again. But yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I wonder, I don't know if it's like a transferable thing. I don't know if there's certain restrictions that come with like some of these high schools, because I know there's some older ways of doing things in Japan, especially once you get into like the baseball world. It's a good question though. Especially as we watch them as a market explode and come over here and, you know, continue to make a lot of money and build this game and take it to another level.
Yeah, I mean they've got the best team in the world until they're usurped, and I'm not projecting that. I think Japan's winning again.
I don't think that's a crazy take. I do think Team USA is better this time around, especially from a pitching standpoint.
So is the DR too,
Not
though.
if the starters are just going to pitch against fucking Great Britain and fucking
it's 7 games,
Egypt
right?
Yeah, but they're not like their best pitchers are not going to be pitching in like the semifinals and the finals. Like you're gonna have fucking Chris Carpenter in the final.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because we're getting what, 2 skiing starts, 1 scuba start. Who else committed to 2?
2 skiing starts?
Yeah,
I believe, right? There was
What a
someone else who
treat.
committed to 2.
Yes.
Team USA. 2
So like
starts.
McLean?
All I'm seeing is hockey, man. I don't know what any of this means. Get off. Oh, Logan Webb's making 2 as well.
Okay.
So there's
all-
2
I mean, if
games you
Skeens
need to
and
account
Webb
for.
Skeens and Webb are as good as it gets.
Yeah, someone laid out the schedule because it'll be 7 games if you go all the way to the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
Who else is left on the roster?
Nolan McLean.
Okay, yeah, which, you know, you're getting great stuff. Not much on that stage, but who else?
Bullpen game in the final.
Oh, is Joe Ryan still going with this back issue?
Oh, probably
There's
not.
no way.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's going to be Kershaw. They're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
have to send out Kershaw. He's going to get killed.
That's why I can't root for the team. It's exactly why I can't root for the fucking team. Losers. Loser mentality even have them involved.
Oh, Matthew Boyd's going too.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
Oh, he had a really good year last year.
He's an all-star.
Is he,
Yeah.
is he one of the 10 best American pitchers?
Probably not.
He's
but
got to be.
who else can we? What can we do here?
We got Boyd and Kershaw. We're fine.
Dude, no, they're going to put Whitlock out there and just make his elbow explode. Let him
Imagine
throw 5
Whitlock
innings.
shoves for 7, his arm explodes.
It's going to be the Angels start all over again. The greatest thing you've ever seen in your
God
life.
damn it.
I was there. I was so fucking miserable.
God. Yeah.
Anyway, so that Bregman picture, huh?
He cooked the fuck out of them, man.
What are you gonna do? I mean, like at the end of the day,
You started the fight.
it's like it. Okay, did I see it and be like, wish I didn't see it? Yeah, but I don't know. I've been through much worse. Like I remember like the picture at the All-Star game with like it was like Mookie Sale, Jade. It was like all like the Red Sox stars just in different uniforms. Like I know pain, I know hurt, and yeah, you know, like I think Bregman had every right to, and Raffy for that matter. We should take a picture.
Way more
Raffy. Like a fuck you. Yeah, like Raffy. They've been talking shit on him. And he's just like, I'm with the Giants, dude. Like, I don't care. I don't, whatever. They can say whatever they want. I've moved on. Like, he took a mature route, and Bregman was like, yeah, like, I'm surprised I'm not there too. I thought that was how this was gonna go, and they dicked him around. And then if he wanted to be here, he'd be here. It's like, well, no, that's not how that works. Like, you made a worse offer. So yeah, I think they both had every right to clown on the Red Sox, but I don't even think that, like, is that really what they did? Maybe.
Yes.
You know, it's more. Yes. It was more like.
Do you think this happens if those comments over the last week didn't happen? Do you think he posts that picture?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, like, we also forget that like Bregman was a troll back in the day. Like, you know, remember like the Nathan Eovaldi videos on Instagram, and yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know the context of that, it was during the 2018 ALCS. And Eovaldi was starting, and then he posted like a video of the Astros hitting like back-to-back home runs off of Eovaldi before he got to Boston. I think he was with Tampa at the time. And he was like, yeah, like going over some video before the game, and it was them like hitting a bunch of home runs off of Eovaldi, and then he went up and shoved it up their ass. So like, yeah, like he's been a troll before, you know. So it is what it is.
To me, this was the definition of like your two ex-girlfriends linking up on IG, and then you see the picture and you got to live with it. I do think like for Bregman, like clearly it's a fuck you just in general. Oh, look, I'm with Rafael Devers. And for his perspective, I do think all those people that want to be like Devers was this insane cancer that was just derailing everybody. Like, we can't let Roman and Marcelo near him. If Devers was this bad of a person, this like toxic, whether it was, oh, he couldn't let Alex Bregman be himself. Remember, that's what people said. Bregman couldn't be himself with Devers there. Dude, they're sitting there, they're dapping each other up. They went out of their way to say hi to each other.
Fuck.
That's it. And like, that's where the narrative about all this of Devers like causing issues in the clubhouse. No, he had an issue with John Henry. He had an issue with Alex Cora to some degree and Craig Breslow. He had an issue with the organization and how they handled this entire thing. So for Bregman to sit here and be like, well, hey, not only have you fucked me, but now I'm going to make your entire case on why Devers couldn't be here. This whole picture you painted for so many people that they ate up and still, you know, some of them are preaching to this day. It looks even stupider. It derails everything they've kind of tried to frame it as. And for the guy who you turned to and tried to, you know, make it his show to give it to Bregman and all that, and the way you treated him, you've asked for all of this. You put it all on yourself. And, you know, I tip my cap to them. It sucks to see. It's painful to see, but you brought these issues on yourself and you're going to have to eat it.
Like when I see that picture, I didn't think of Bregman at all. It's just like, because if I could add either of those guys to this team, it'd be Devers so easily. So easily. He's younger, he's more power, he's 1 year. Like, it's not a conversation to me. So I don't know. I'm sure, like, I don't know. It never crossed my mind that Devers never liked Alex Bregman. I think he was, the second he was signed, he was like, sick. Our second baseman's here.
It wasn't, the issue wasn't with him. Yeah, it was never about him.
Right. He was like, great, this guy can hit in front of me or after me. Like, I don't really care, but it's another bat, which I've been asking for. Everyone knows I've been asking. I just flambéed the team one spring training ago because they didn't do anything like this. They did it. Oh, he's taking my job? Well, that sucks, but I'm going to go be the best DH in baseball. And then he's the worst person who ever lived is how he wore headphones. I don't know if you guys heard he had headphones.
It's just the picture you've tried to paint is once again shown to be just not reality. It's just not that. And this whole thing happened due to bruised egos and not liking that contract for whatever reason you want to frame it as underwater. When we know it's not underwater. You can compare it to other deals in the game. There's a lot worse contracts, and especially when especially when that guy Devers has something that you're still trying to search for, you're still trying to figure out and add to your team. It's just, and it took away from what you could have accomplished last year. That's the other half of it. So you hurt what 2025 could have been, and you're still looking for that issue. And it's because your ego got bruised because of your own fuck ups, because you made these mistakes that made the player sour on you, and a lot of different things. And who wouldn't when you're lied to multiple times over and over again? And even once the guy shows up to camp, they play a charade in front of everyone and can't be real about what the actual situation was. Yeah. And they were all guilty of it. From Cora recruiting him and talking about him being his second baseman, like all this. Imagine the manager, the guy who you've been with, is going out there and he's recruiting his guy from Houston, and then you pull that from underneath him. Who wouldn't feel some type of way?
Yeah.
There's a lot of blame for all those guys.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
No, it's just what it is.
We brought up the picture. Obviously, we were going to talk about it.
But I mean, we don't have to rehash why it's a thing. We know why it's a thing, but yeah. T, anything left on the manifesto?
I don't think so.
Wow, we cleaned it out.
I think we hit it out the park.
Damn.
Oh, you didn't even talk about the thing we made fun of you for.
I don't remember. What were we making fun of me for?
Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, good. We got a good injury update. His strength test after the game today, for people who didn't see, he kind of had like a Trevor Story-esque dive moment. And this is a guy who's had both labrums operated on. So, obviously that's a pretty significant thing. But he passed his strength test. It seems like it's more positive than negative. But I really think, unfortunately for him, the Andrew Monasterio hype train has kind of just drove over what a lot of people. He feels exactly what Brendan Rodgers would do. But maybe he would sit in the minor leagues and could come up later. That's a possibility, but eventually Romy will factor in, and that only pushes him down farther.
Hopefully.
Cole, you got a final thought?
Do I have a final thought? What a question. What a question for a time like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I did have one coming into the program, and then we talked for 2 hours, and it just begins to escape a man of my age, my vintage.
Yeah. I mean, you're almost 37, so you might
final thought. I feel like it was about you too, and I don't.
About me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw you twice last week in person, so that's where I thought, was there something that happened there? We went to Loon.
Yeah. How did his arms look? Do you believe they're bigger than Roman?
They are.
Jared's been hot on this.
Yeah, I texted Tyler because I saw the video of Poppy walking up to Roman, and I was just like his arms don't even fill up the sleeve. I don't even remember the last time I wore a shirt where my arms didn't fill up the sleeve.
He wears shirts that fit him. That's the difference.
I'm wearing this is a large. I wear large and XL.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Maybe this is a shirt thing. It's a good take, Cole.
Not. I even sent Tyler videos from my gym. I was like, let me know when he looks like this.
Oh, we found a middle ground. I think Jared's biceps are bigger, but Roman's forearms are bigger.
That's not what arms are, though.
No, it's not. Everyone's always talking biceps for sure.
I also do think you deserve points based on your height. You are working with a lesser foundation, so that's extra points.
That
makes it easier.
Anything.
Does it?
Makes it much easier.
I thought a bigger person would more easily get buffed.
Torque. No, you have it's like any. Why am I blanking on not hinge? But yeah, kind of. It's like if you have a longer wingspan, you have to lift more to be able to get it there. If you have shorter arms, that's why short guys are typically more jacked because they don't.
I'm not short.
I'm not talking about you. Relax. I'm just saying Roman is taller than you.
Yeah. He's taller than Tyler.
So yes, no doubt. He's taller than everyone here except me.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why I'm quietly jacked, but because my arm's so long, you just really can't tell.
It's a good take.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Did you remember what you were going to ask me?
No, I wasn't going to ask you anything. I was just trying to remember if there was anything memorable that happened during all that time, and there really wasn't. Nope. Sox.
Yeah, we did have 2 dinners together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good one. It was that was crazy. You and your dad are both like, get exactly this for dinner. It's unbelievable. And I was like, no doubt. So I got it. It was really good. And I look over, you've got fucking chicken parm. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, this is not
a Kowloon?
No, not a Kowloon.
No.
It's a different dinner.
I was about to say they have parm.
The steak tips are phenomenal there at Grandma's, yeah. But,
steak tips were good. The ribs they fell right off the bone.
Yeah.
So I love that for Saugus.
I'm on a diet.
The chicken parm diet?
And my diet
Me too.
for that, my dinner was supposed to be ground beef and pasta. So I got chicken parm with cheese ravioli. So it's like I cheated a little bit, but like was still kind of on par with what I was supposed to have.
I think that's a big fat guy way to look at it. I think you cheated a lot on what you projected to have.
I didn't.
Yeah, Tubbs.
I didn't. Jake, did I cheat on my diet with that?
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The whole time I was sitting there, I was like, I don't think I'm cheating on the diet that much. And it's good to know that I didn't.
My actual final thought was, I think Suarez is going to be my favorite guy on the team this year. There's just something about him. Anytime they post videos behind the scenes, like he's doing all of his interviews on TV with the translator, and then he's walking down the hall like reading clearly. Maybe they are writing it in Spanish now that I think about it. They probably are writing it in both on the board. But he's running back and forth. He's giggling with everybody. Like he was at the Celtics game looking like a boss. Like, I don't know. I think we might have to bring El Guapo back, like the nickname. Like, I think he personifies. He's not nearly as big, obviously, but I think he just personifies that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. He's definitely a big vibes guy. Like that was, you'd hear that universally from like Phillies fans being like, he's just the life of the party. So love that. I hope we have a reason to party this year. That'd be great. Yeah. Steve, final thought? Again, with the AI dude, like we don't do AI. We don't do it. Shit. Jake's takes.
I'm just really happy T was able to unflip himself and make the show tonight, because
yeah,
I feel like he'd almost rather miss a World Series episode than a spring training episode, especially first few televised games of the year. So shout out T for showing up.
This is his World Series. Yeah.
I get nervous when I don't have my 2 screens. I'm not fully functionable.
Mm-hmm.
But see?
Functionable. Not a word.
But yeah, my English is declining.
Yeah. That's good stuff. It's good stuff, T. No one's more prepared than you.
Somebody has to put the work in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mikey, you got a final thought?
Just want to give a shout out to all the plow drivers, National Grid, EverSource workers down, especially southeastern Mass, my neck of the woods, Rhode Island. They got absolutely crushed. A lot of people still without power. They've been working tirelessly around the clock. So shout out to all of those great folks for cleaning up the roads.
Wow. Shout them out.
Let me tell you about these cocksucker plow drivers, Mikey.
Wow.
Tell me how I get to the end of my driveway the other day and I blast just a clean sheet, nice straight line. I come back up my driveway. I turn around. There's a new, larger, more concrete wall deposited at the end of my fucking driveway. When they're on the main roads, I got no problem with these guys. I salute them. I appreciate them. When they come down my street and build a new solid brick wall of cement and ice that's supposed to be snow right after I just started, I curse them out every fucking time. I hate them so much when they do that.
I know.
So much.
I mean, what else are they going to do? They got to plow the road, and then it's on the homeowner to figure out the end of the driveway.
No, there are other states, there are other cities that have invented plows that don't do that to driveways. They have the technology. Yeah, they have the technology. New England doesn't have that tech. Well, we're going to have no snow this winter. Of course, we're going to get the fucking technology.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot of streets that still aren't even touched in Fall River, New Bedford. It's bad out there. I mean, this storm crushed us.
Yeah, it sure did. T?
I want to shout out my DoorDash driver, Richard. Sunday night when I departed for the hotel, I realized there was a real chance I was going to get locked in. And 3 years ago in 2022, this was during the lockout, I got trapped in a hotel for 3 days while I was working at the sports hub. Snow was coming down. I ordered 6 Cape Cod pizzas. as I was coming up on Brockton, because I knew there was a real chance that I was not going to be able to get food while I was in this hotel. Richard came through. I picked up the pizzas in Brockton at the old residence, grabbed the pizzas, and then went and I lived off those pizzas while I was in the hotel. And they were mighty fine.
Mighty fine.
So shout out Richard. Oh, yeah. Just these nice bar pizzas, and I was kind of just knocking them down whenever I got bored, honestly.
Okay.
Plop them in the microwave and get after it.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what it's all about right there.
Hey, I know you guys are scrambling, trying to shut down. Can I get 6 pizzas?
It was legit 7:00 at Sunday night. So, and everyone like I work with was at this hotel. So I come in, I drop my bags off, and I'm like, I need to get down to the parking lot and bring the pizzas in without anyone seeing me. So like I'm walking in with like this stack of pizzas, and like the person at the desk is looking at me crazy, but I made it to the room with them. It was pretty cool.
And no one could see you. You were hiding behind 6 boxes of
Exactly.
pizza.
I just was very scared of running into my boss and then having to explain to them what I was doing.
Understandably so.
Yeah, why not?
6 pies.
There's only one T.
Snowing? Gotta get 6 pizzas.
My final thought. I got a little sneak preview. It's not done yet, but we're probably, what would you say, Mikey? Like 67% of the way done. With the Sully's Bridge 9 YouTube masterpiece that we're working on. It's you did it all. The story of how the Yankees suck shirts and the anti-Yankees merchandise funded a record label. How far would you say we're on that?
Yeah, I would say good 6-7%, 70% done. Making really good progress. I'm loving how it's coming out. I really think people are going to enjoy this story.
Yeah.
Chris and Jared go back and forth, how their stories have intertwined. Jared started working at Sully's when he was young, and Chris, selling the shirts on Yawkey and Jersey Street. So it's a really great story. I think people are really gonna like it.
Yeah, and you'll never believe where that first Yankees suck shirt came from. You'll never believe it. Stay tuned. That'll be on the YouTube channel. Yep, it's a big tease.
Good job working on that doc, Jerry.
Well, I mean, I did host it.
He did a great
job.
Thanks.
Proud of you guys.
No, you didn't see it.
I know your work for years.
Yeah.
I know it's a great job. You wouldn't be talking about it, promoting it if it was a shit job.
Well, Mikey, I love his work no matter whether I'm on it or not. I mean, it's way better
both
when
of
I
your
am,
works.
but...
I love both of your works.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why did you take that thank you?
Huh?
Like a dog. Like, huh?
And the podcast.
Huh?
Huh? That was crazy. All right. Section10merch.com. Are we gonna the interview that we do on Sunday, are we gonna drop that as a standalone?
Yeah,
are we gonna
that should
drop
be the
that on
bonus
like
pod,
Monday
right?
morning or something? What do you say, Jake?
Sunday night. I think we do that as the bonus pod this week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, okay. I like that idea. All right.
Buenas noches, amigos.